Hey, I forgot the goddamn Lord. Sometimes, oh Lord, God damn it. You know, shit happens sometimes. You forget. Roll the tape. Let's go. Good day, everyone. How are we doing today? It's beautiful. It's sunny outside. It's a gorgeous day. I'm tired as hell. Did almost 7 miles, I think. I did roughly 7 miles today. I didn't have my watch on, so I do not know exactly, but it was over 6.5 miles, at least, bare minimum. Kicking my ass. Oldest who? That run is kicking my ass. God damn. But nonetheless, we are the Wildest Waker Show. I'm your host, Sharon Bracey, and every single day we rebel against remedial rhetoric, and today would be no different. And like always, we'll open up the panel later so we can have a conversation, but you got to make sure you're not regurgitating information that you heard from elsewhere. It got to come from your own thoughts. We want to challenge each other. And so, because I don't want to be right all the goddamn time. I want somebody to prove me wrong, goddammit. So I encourage all of the disagreements. You don't have to be afraid. It is okay. You can stand up for who you are. What up, Byron Turner? Good day, Miss Jalen. It's okay. You know what I'm saying? Otis, they don't have to be scared. I'm gonna get mine, you're gonna get yours. That's my thurs. You know how they talk in St. Louis. I'm trying to work on my accent a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, I'm planning to go to St. Louis and go on the arch and go on the little arch train. Yeah. What's up, Dr. Quantum? Good day. What you mean, Otis? Man, this thing is crazy. This thing is wild. Hey. Good day, very sexy rag. Good day, beautiful Bomb Cherry. I'm glad that you feeling well enough to join us today. Make sure drop your Cash App and let's send Bomb Cherry some beautiful love today. Ain't no love like a dollar bill or more, and say blessings to her. God damn it, send her that good, positive, productive energy. So Bomb Cherry, drop your damn Cash App in the goddamn link, and everybody send her some Cash Apps and say get well soon. God damn it. Shit. You know, that'll make you feel better. She don't need no damn oxycodone. She needs some goddamn Cash Apps. God damn it. She needs some goddamn Cash Apps and some damn food. Shout out to the beautiful Bomb Cherry Juice. Make sure you drop your goddamn Cash App, Bomb. Shit. I'm not sure what we can do, but we can at least do that. God damn it. Shout out to the beautiful Bomb Cherry. I'm waiting for you to drop it. God damn it. Huh? Right, Bomb Cherry. It should be no problem for you to drop your Cash App, just like how you be dropping it like it's hot. I'm glad that you can eat your food again. Make sure you're getting well. Do what you got to do. I'm happy that you were standing up for yourself. There we go. Let me see. How do I pin it to the top? Let me see. Let's pin that to the top. Everybody go send Bomb Cherry some love. Send her some best wishes. Send $1, 5, 10, 1,000, whatever that you got that you could spare. Just show her some love and just say best wishes. Get well soon. Keep Bomb Cherry in good spirits so she can get through, because the doctors, they was doing what doctors do to Black women on a day-to-day basis. They try to act as if Black women can't feel no pain, as they can't get no damn discomforts. She said, she said either one. So we're going to make sure we show her some love as the best way we can. Just, send, even if it's just $1 to tell her get well soon. Just do that. So good. We got to show love and support for one another. They keep saying this YouTube shit is fake, but it's not. We got to take care of each other, goddamn it, because one of the reasons probably why they started acting straight is when they realized they was on live. Whether it's legal or not, she was on live and made them calm their ass down, made them rethink their attitude. Because as we finding out that these cameras, man, these cameras on these phones is changing a lot of people's attitude. Okay, let me make sure I got the right one. So she says this one. I make sure I put this one. Okay. Bomb Cherry Juice. Make sure y'all all show her some love. Give us some good spirits, man. Give us some good productive energy. She's gonna need it in this time. Because and that's the beauty of these cameras. It's coming out with a lot of police officers and so on and so forth. And now even with we see it. We've been seeing it for a while now. Plenty of women been speaking up and saying, hey, they trying to act like I don't feel no pain. And then when you can, and it's different when somebody say it without the visual and audio evidence. It's always, well, maybe you had an attitude. Maybe you did something. Maybe you did. And maybe it's the way how you, and maybe it's that. Like, it's all these maybes. But when you can hear it straight from a doctor or a nurse and how they don't want to have no understanding of what the patient is going through, it changes the conversation. That changes the conversation. And people start to act like they have some common sense once they realize other people can see them. This is why integrity is a very big deal. This is why a lot of men, we always have the conversation how they need to recalibrate their value system. Because for some reason, Imperious Bomb Cherry's Cash App is pinned to the top. She's in the hospital. She had surgery yesterday. The nurses and the doctors and the supervisors that was tending to her was mistreating her, but they didn't know she had that camera on. And then when they realized that she was live, all of a sudden their attitude straightened right up. And they was like, oh, what do you need? You need to eat? You didn't eat yet? No, I haven't ate. I've been telling you that. And everybody that was on my live see me explaining this to you, that I was hungry. I was in pain. And then once they realized that other people, when it was 80 to 100 people watching and listening in, all of a sudden they had all the solutions in the world. All of a sudden they had all the solutions in the world. They said, oh, we didn't realize you was in pain and you didn't eat. Would you like some food? I might have to check that out, Bubba. I'll check it out. Yeah, and medical malpractice is a big deal, and a lot of people try to just shrug that under the rug. But hey, it's a serious thing, man. And I'm just glad that we was able to witness it in real time. So now nobody can say, oh, Bomb, maybe you had an attitude, or baby, you was nah. You could clearly see who was the aggressor. And when and you could also clearly see how they tonality changed once they realized she had live viewers listening and watching. So if y'all can, show her some good love. Doesn't matter if it's $1, whatever. Just send her some best wishes and just help her get her through the surgery and all those things. She'll be home very shortly. She made it through surgery, so that is awesome. Yeah, so shout out to the beautiful Palm Cherry. She's always in good spirit. Always make me laugh. I wanted to talk about. Speaking of, speaking of the elderly, let's talk about Smokey Robinson. It was only a little jokey joke, Bob. Ladies and gentlemen, we need to talk about Smokey Robinson. The man who once sang, "You really got a hold on me." I said, "You really got a hold on me." It might have been taken way too literally. Now, I don't know about you, but when I hear, "Ooh, baby, baby," I expect like romance, not a lawsuit, right? And 4 women have come forward accusing Smokey of sexually battery, is what they said, right? Assault and creating a hostile work environment. And, and guess who was allegedly been covering up for him? Who is it? Who y'all think? Let me see. Who was covering up for Smokey? How he sang it then, Don? Tell me how he sang it, Don. Oh, I talking about I ain't sing it right. Hey, Imperious, it is what it is. I know, Smokey Robinson, 4 women who been covering up for Smokey Robinson all these years. It was none other than his wife, Frances Robinson. Now I get it, right? Love make you do some crazy things. But this ain't being with you. This is being complicit. That's another Smokey Robinson song, by the way. Being with you. He makes some great songs, goddamn. And let's talk about the damages. These 4 women, they are seeking. I don't know what's up with this, but maybe because it's just a nice round number, but they are seeking $50 million. That's about like what? 12 a piece? Because it's 4 of them. Damn.
May I add, he has green blue eyes on Diva's list.
Damn. And he got one of the things on Diva's list that doesn't miss. Oh, damn. God damn. That is a man. Smokey Robinson got he got one of the things on Diva's list that don't miss, and clearly it's still not missing. Oh shit. Yo, Diva list does not miss. That is crazy. God damn it, Smokey. Say it is so. Shit. 50 million. Like $50 million because you want to be a sexual deviant. $50 million. I don't know what's up with this round number that everybody keep just using, right? This is the second $50 million lawsuit. I guess when you do sexual degeneracy, it's gonna cost you about 50 mil. And that is enough. That's enough money, even though they're gonna have to probably split it in 4 ways, which is more than enough money. It'd probably roughly be around 10 mil a piece. I think that's enough to buy enough, copy of a Cruisin. You know what I'm saying? Because they're going to be cruising through the rest of their life with 10 mil at this age that they are now. And you still will have some change left over from therapy, right? It is what it is. Now, Smokey has been smart, so he's been silent, but What they say, silence is golden. That's another Smokey Robinson reference, by the way. Except in this case, silence is suspicious. And Frances, she's out here allegedly screaming at employees using pejorative words. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how this is going to end, right? But one thing's for sure, that this ain't no quiet storm. God damn, I'm cooking the titles right now. I ain't gonna lie, I'm cooking the titles Smokey was singing about, right? This is a full-blown legal hurricane. That's what's going on, god damn it. That's interesting, Imperius. Yeah, I did see that. I was going to talk about that as well, too. Little sidebar. Yeah, I seen that. It's going to be interesting because I want to see if they're going to go with a more I want to see if they are going to go with a conservative in the conclave, or they're going to keep it the way how this Pope was, and a little bit more progressive. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this is going to turn out to be. Imperius, what would you choose? Would you choose a more conservative Pope, or a Pope like, the one that just recently passed away? It's going to be interesting. But yeah, and I also see, also what we see is that with Smokey Robinson and the 4 women that did come up and speak about it, right? They were all Spanish or Latino descent. And and this is why we got to have integrity, because people tend to do things in private. They don't act the same in the public, because in public, like people said, he has a voice of an angel. He is a beautiful man. We don't know about any scandals. And this is why integrity is so important. This is why we keep telling men. This is why I keep trying to reiterate. My cousin, he keep trying to reiterate every single day when he came up with, hey, you men need to recalibrate their value system. They need to take out lust and degeneracy from the top of their value system and replace that joint with God. Add some honor, integrity. That's what we're going to stop at today. Men need to add some integrity. What you do in private should also be with how you act in the public. It should not be flip-flopping. They should not be flip-flopping like this. Make sure you're hitting that like and that share button as we discuss these conversations. Have alternative media, goddamn. It's the only way we're going to keep building, is that we work together to keep building this thing up. We are not going to let the evil win. Absolutely not. And a lot of men, right, when they have power and they have access, a lot of these men, it turns into a dangerous combo, clearly. Like, men in power, they often have unchecked access to vulnerable individuals, employees, fans, subordinates, creating situations where boundaries become blurred or ignored altogether. Because a man with integrity respects those boundaries and understand his power is a responsibility. It is not a free pass. This is why we hear Donald Trump say he just grabbed him by the what? You got to have some goddamn integrity. It's not a free pass because people look at you in a certain way, just because you have employees, fans, or subordinates. You got to have boundaries. And many influential figures surround themselves with enablers, people who dismiss, silence, or cover up their wrongdoings. We see it happen time and time again. This particular situation is his wife that is covering up all these things. But also in smaller places, like in regular everyday people, we see it happen time and time again. People are protecting the wrong things. Why are you protecting wrongdoings? Because a disciplined man does not need a shield of secrecy because his actions are ethical in the first place. This is why we gotta change, we gotta recalibrate the way how we think, replace some things, take out lust and degeneracy. God damn it. Because a lot of times in these public figures, right? When someone is adorned by the public or controls immense wealth, they start believing the rules don't apply to them. That's what they really believe. They believe they could do whatever they want. They will never face any consequences. That's how they feel. But men with integrity, let me drink some water, chooses accountability over arrogance, knowing no one is above basic decency. God damn, I'm cooking up again. Woo! God damn, I'm cooking up again, Bob. Absolutely, Bomb. I agree with that. Okay, Bubba. I feel you. What's up, Lay? All right, Bubba. I understand that. I ain't know Bubba was in that. Thank you. I appreciate that, Bob. Make sure y'all hitting that like and that share button. Y'all know it helps the channel out tremendously when we do stuff like this. When we just get together and promote and push out alternative media, alternative thoughts. This is how we really build a community, how we can help and support each other. Make sure everybody that's here, we got over 60 people watching right now. Make sure y'all go and send Bomb Cherry Juice some love. Her Cash App is pinned to the top. She went through surgery yesterday. She is feeling much better. Hey, send her some good wishes. Send $1 or more. It doesn't matter. Just send something. Just give us some best and good wishes. God damn it. And with this whole Smokey thing, right? And as we've seen that, it's not just Smokey, right? This is a much bigger situation. We see it, Shannon Sharp, Diddy. It's just continuously and increasingly more and more celebrities is coming out as being degenerates. And many predators disguise exploitation as mentorships, friendships, or romance, and gradually breaking down resistance, right? Because, and this is why it is so important that, you know, us as men, we got to be disciplined, because a man of discipline understands that guidance and leadership should elevate others, not exploit them. That's what should be happening. You should be elevating others, not exploiting them. And it's just a crazy situation that people keep on just like these high profile individuals. They are using their celebrity status to create a false sense of safety, making it harder for victims to speak out. Who would you believe? You know, that's what they would say. Who would you believe? You know, they would say, who will believe you over me? This is the things that this is a psychological problem that they have when they have this, when they have integrity issues. But a man with integrity, he uses his influence to uplift and protect others, not manipulate them for personal gratification. And we need to start pointing these things out, because we see it happen time and time again. And we just try to ignore. Some people just tend to ignore these things. When allegations arise, many offenders, they deny, they discredit, or they counterattack the accuser. They treat the victims as threats rather than survivors seeking justice. And let's not get twisted. There's some liars out there. We understand that. But a principled man, he owns up to his mistakes. He listens and actively prevents harm rather than dodging accountability. if he done it. And we see time and time again, like somebody like Shannon Sharp, we see clearly you have a history of doing these damn things. Something wrong with you, bro. But he's not holding accountability. What he said, it was a goddamn shakedown instead of saying, hey, yeah, I have a problem. You can't dodge accountability. And at the core of all this sexual misconduct is a deep sense of entitlement. This is what we broke this down, males and their entitlement. We was breaking that down the other day because for some reason, most men can't even realize that they have this deep sense of entitlement. Believing one's desires overrides consent. And we see that's happening on a day-to-day basis. This is no coincidence that Shannon Sharp and Smokey got the same situation. They feel entitled. Oh, they feel like their entitlement overrides consent. But a man with discipline understands that respect is non-negotiable and power should be wielded with humility, not selfishness. And if we just have more men that embody discipline, humility, and integrity, fewer people will be suffering at the hands of unchecked power. This is not just a celebrity problem. This is across all industries. I just want to know what y'all think. What's the thoughts? If I'm cooking up today, make sure y'all hit that like and that share button. That's how we keep this thing going. It's how we keep the lights on. Y'all know the situation that I'm in. The only way that I can get out of it is by y'all support, by hitting that like and that share button. Let me see. Let me go check. Let me see where we at. We're not even at 20 likes. That's fucking crazy. Not even at 20 likes. You can make me a little bit more coffee, babe. That's crazy. I like that. What up, baby? Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I'm doing things wrong. I don't know. It is what it is. All right. Well, I spoke about that. What about this latest episode of World War, the prequel? India versus Pakistan. India and Pakistan are at it again, and this time it's looking real messy. India launched airstrikes on Pakistan, and they called it Operation Sindoor. Now, I don't know who named it. I don't. But it sounds like some kind of Bollywood revenge flick, in my opinion. Meanwhile, in Pakistan, so what happened over there, the National Security Council has authorized its military to avenge the strikes. Avenge. Like, yeah, like it was a goddamn, like we in a goddamn Marvel movie. Like Iron Man about to show up. I think, didn't he get, when the first movie, wasn't he in goddamn, he was somewhere over there. He was somewhere over there. I'm not sure where. Shout out to the Cash App. You have my support. Thank you always. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Always holding me down. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. But I think the real tea is who's funding this war. Because when you follow the money, things get real interesting, right? The U.S. have been cozying up to India, while China has been sliding into Pakistan's DMs. So, so is this really India versus Pakistan, or is it just America versus China with a little, South Asia as the battleground? You know what I'm saying? To me, this is about influence, power, and who gets to call the shots in the global arena. And while India and Pakistan are exchanging missiles, the U.S. and China are exchanging like trade threats, right? And so, what's next? It's like, is it a proxy war? Is it a Cold War sequel, or is it just another round of who can sabotage whose economy faster? Is what I'm seeing. One thing for sure, that this thing is not ending anytime soon. And if history has taught us anything, is that when the superpowers start playing chess, the pawns always suffer. And clearly, we see who the pawns are. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I got in my mind for today. I was quick, short, and precise. Y'all let me know what's y'all thoughts. Y'all can come up and hit the link and we can have a discussion. Or we can end the show early. Contour, maybe y'all just not liking these two topics, because that's what it shows. Maybe I just want to talk about, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, like, sometimes I just get like I ain't gonna lie, I get disappointed when I see certain things. It's just like, man, that's just crazy to me. That's right, Bubba. That is always popular. People love to talk about things that don't mean anything. You're right about that, Bubba. It gets a little sad for me sometimes. I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, God damn. Yeah, I did speak about the Smokey. What's your thoughts on Smokey Robinson LA Project? I think it's wild that these men they use their power for evil. I don't know why so many is a code that we have to break with men, with this just want to put their peen inside everything that's moving just because you paying them or whatever the case is, just because it's a woman or whatever, just because you have a power influence. It's wild to me. I do not have this integrity problem. I'm glad I don't have this integrity problem. This is why, people, this is why a lot of men today, talking about the Beyonce situation, if I was a boy, right? A lot of men, they feel like if women were men, they'd be worse than them. This is crazy to me. Yeah, that's true, Cameron. Most people are not versed enough to actually have conversations. That's why they always paint the narratives. This is why they believe that women would be worse than them if they had the same power. This is why a lot of men are afraid of women being autonomous of themselves. Damn, Josh, she said I basically stay away from it. That's some scary things. And I don't think men pay attention to these things. They try to take everything that a woman is complaining about or whatever she's afraid of. They just like, hey, that's in her imagination. And but it's a real thing. This is a thing that we also as men we teach our daughters, nieces all the time. Men only want one thing. When are we going to start teaching young men that, hey, you need to stop just thinking about one thing? J Villa, I don't know what you mean. They should have. I don't know what that means. What's up, Orthodox guy? Good day. Welcome to the show, the LA Project. Good day, Storm. How you doing?
Good day. I was trying to figure out what was going on with my phone. I did an update last night and I was like, okay. So sorry about the confusion earlier. um no, I literally just clicked on. So I'm not sure. Like that's why I had to try to ask,
Mm-hmm.
exactly what but wanted to stick to the topic. I have noticed that there is like some type of problem. I don't think it's like, like the activity. You know what
Mm,
I mean? Like when it comes to like some of these instances, whether it be Shannon Sharp and now we hear it Smokey,
mm-hmm.
and it just seems like a lot of the attention gets thrown on the person who is, I guess, obliging or whatever. But it's like, what is making these people want to do this stuff? Like, I don't want to get too explicit, but I've definitely expressed on other shows like everything on your body has a function,
Mm,
and like do what you do, you know what I mean? If you like what you like, okay, I get it. But for me personally, like this exit only is exit only. But a lot. But we just seem to have a problem with this. And I'm just like, what is the problem? If we
mm,
keep things in a functional way, like what type of confusion could you have besides, okay, obviously the person said no or whatever, but it's like it just seems like there is a problem. And I've been noticing that. So I do agree with that aspect from what you've been saying. Well, from what I heard so far.
yeah, I think it's just really, I really believe it's an entitlement situation. They feel in their own mind, right, that they deserve something from this other person, and they desire overrides that person's consent. And this is a problem with a lot of powerful men or men that believe that they are powerful.
That's a great point because I don't know, like even, like when I was younger, maybe like in the early 2000s, and you might, that's when the magazines were really popular, right? You get the
Mm,
word ups and the sources and the vibes
mm,
and stuff, and you might hear something a little funny, and but it wasn't the age of videos and cameras on your phones and stuff like
mm,
that. So all you had to do was that's was some good journalism. I can't even lie. But at the same time, in my mind, the way I was just like, man, like you got a person who can afford literally anything that they want.
right.
And if
But
you can get everything that you want, if you have, who knows? You might get bored. You might want to try something. Like I said, this was the younger me,
mm,
just going off of just my own personal reasoning, right?
mm,
But like yeah, when it comes, it always seems to be, the scenario always seems to be kind of the same when it's these people who have some type of power or influence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they feel like, I am who I am. Like, how dare you say no? How dare you not want to engage? How dare you not want to be close to me? And I'ma just have to be real. Like, a lot of these, athletes and these sensational people, they haven't had to develop their character and had to grow
Mm-hmm.
up the way that we have. So they're lacking a lot of social skills.
Mm. So this
And
is all. So here's the thing, though, LA, that this is not just happening on just celebrities. This happening on with everyday men as well, and this is
oh
why
snap.
I believe a lot of men feel entitled. And this is why. Let me slow down my thoughts. I believe this is why a lot of women are afraid to have this trust in a man to take over all the bills and so on and so forth. Because once he have all that power, now he feels entitled over any consent that she has. If I say this, I pay all the bills, right? You wouldn't, we wouldn't be eating if it wasn't for me going outside and work. I'll do all the hard work. All you got to do is stay home and cook and clean. That's the least you can do. So they have this entitled mentality, and this is why women feel the pain of what their grandmothers and great grandmothers feel. Like, it maybe not have been said, but they
Mm-hmm.
could feel it. They could see it. They could feel that energy is a little strange. Grandma might never told them, but something was weird in the house that you just can't explain as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And
No,
then now that we come to the future, we see grandpa had children across the street and this, that, and the third. He whipped grandma's ass and we never knew. And
Mhm.
it is that entitlement factor that has been going on for a while and it's been unchecked for way too long. And men need to start being men again and just talking to their brothers and say, hey, this shit is not cool. I have daughters. I do not want my daughter inside of a household trapped with a man that's possibly feel like he's entitled to my child's body. You are not married or not.
Yeah, the entitlement subject has definitely yeah, I've been hearing, and kind of definitely been expounding on that. I don't like the concept of entitlement at all. I
Mm,
mean, because if you just think about it, I mean, that literally means you're going to receive something that you did absolutely nothing to obtain. You know what I mean? Like,
mm,
for example, like if we were just, okay, well, we're entitled to, every American that's of a certain age is entitled to a car,
mm,
and they just give it to you, right?
mm,
How how much care do you think people are going to put into their cars, whether it be getting into accidents, driving recklessly, because they're
mm,
entitled to a car. So even if they're wrecking, they're going to get another one. They're entitled to it.
mm. It's
It,
kind
it,
of like
it
a stolen car. How people drive a stolen car. Right?
well, except for this, in this case, ain't nobody gonna stop you, and if they do, the tag's gonna clear. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
no problems. But when you translate that into like human interactions, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even like to even discuss about what people deserve. You know what
Mm,
I mean? It's really about how much work you put into yourself, and also like what you value in picking your person. You know what I'm saying? If you say that you want to be married, and this is another thing, like when it comes to not only men with power, but just in general lately, the phrase, what do I get out of the deal, comes up. And
woo!
I am just like, are you kidding me? I'm not gonna cuss, I promise. Are you kidding me? You know what
and,
I'm
and
saying?
and how is that even negotiation, right? It's like we could
Right.
be like that's not how you negotiate something. If LA say, hey, I want to do a show with you, I don't say, hey, so what do I get out of it? I would say, hey, well, for us to do the show, I want such and such and such, and then you get a chance to rebuttal or agree, disagree, and we can have a conversation about what each other want out the show. And
Hmm.
then now we can have the negotiations, and then we can come to some kind of compromise, or we might just agree on all terms, whatever it is. But it's a conversation, not me sitting there entitled and say, "Whatever I get out the deal."
Hmm. And why aren't you? And that goes along with expectations, and you know how dangerous those can be. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people we do have this whether it be our birthday or some type of whatever, there's a
Yeah.
vision that we have in our mind that we want to see come to fruition. And if this person doesn't happen, or this, that, and the third doesn't happen, then it's just like it's a huge letdown. You got to
Mm,
just enjoy the moment and you got to enjoy the ride. I was, I thought about even like, the past generations and things like that. And how, um, how many restrictions were both on Black men and Black women.
okay.
And how it doesn't mean just because your grandparents were together for a gazillion years, it doesn't mean that everything was cool. You know what I mean? It's just they had to survive. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I don't want to put it this way, but it's just
They
like
been
pick
sleeping
your
in the same
poison.
goddamn room, goddamn, for the past 15 years, and they be trying to act like everything was all good. Let me also, before you
Hmm.
keep going, let me shout out to the cash app. It says, I got 5 on it. Fire. Thank you so
Hey.
much. I appreciate you, beautiful. Thank you so much. But yeah, like seriously, like and this is why a lot of people don't, respect the marriage thing as much anymore, because we don't know what's really going on, because it's not showing for a lot of these men and women. When we hear them talk, it sounds like you actually against marriage.
Oh, 100%. And I've I've said this on my channel plenty of times, and this was probably like on your panel actually like a year ago, where I mentioned it's like, we need y'all more experienced people, the people who have, reached whatever goal that the listeners are trying to obtain. Y'all need to come off your island. We get it.
Mm,
You don't want to have your situation tainted, changed, or whatever. But if something works for you and you have knowledge, like, we need to hear from you guys, because similar to how they say that, or focus on the 304s and things like that, right?
right.
There's a lot of good women who want some type of union with a man, you know what I mean? That will compromise, that will work with them, right? I think it's the same thing. There's a lot of Pookies and Ray Rays and a lot of degenerate, rhetoric going on. But at the same time, we know that there's good guys out there, but we need y'all to come out more. I know that's probably a part of you and Brownsville's like, inspiration, probably because we just don't hear enough of it. But when we
And
do hear,
I
mhm.
think the problem, LA, is that people don't respect good in these. I think I'm starting to realize that this is just demon town.
They don't believe in it, is what
Right.
I feel. Like, because trust me, I get it. You know what I mean? I'm not a perfect person. I'm flawed, but I like to say that I'm solid, though.
Mm,
you know so regardless, because I'm going to have to learn my own lessons at my own time, in conjunction or right alongside with you, and the way that I relate to you might be a little different because I'm going through my own stuff and you're going through your own stuff, right?
mm.
But at the end of it all, I don't know, man. Like, I don't really take any of this as being like I don't know. It's just something that I want to share. Like, if I have a life, you know what I mean, and I want to experience certain things, why not do that with somebody? You
Right.
know what I mean?
And I think what the problem is like what Gail just hit it to us, right? Is that this saying that men been pushing out for the past 50 to 100 years, that good guys finish last, right? This is what they say, right? And the problem with this saying, this is go right towards male entitlement, because they
How
actually
so?
believe what they do is making the other person do it. Right. So me being a bad boy is the reason why I get girls. Instead of saying that,
Mm,
I'm just attractive and I'm just lying and tricking these girls. And that's why we have relationships with these women. Right.
okay,
So
gotcha.
if I'm with LA Project and I meet her and she's doing cooking, cleaning, singing while she's cooking, and she's smiling, laughing, and giving me everything that I need, I think as a man of entitlement, it's because of whatever I did is the reason why LA Project is doing those things. Instead of looking at like, look at this beautiful woman. She has all the right things. She's cooking, she's cleaning, she's happy, she's singing. That's her. She's doing that.
There you go. I'm just doing what I do. And I think people just need to stop trying to expect, again, go back to them expectations, expecting somebody who is not in the habit of doing certain things or doesn't have it, um I guess, just as an inspiration or even like something that they're interested in. How can you expect them to just be something else? And then, like you said, the audacity
The
that even, I
audacity to
mean,
think.
the average person thinks that, yeah, it's because of me that, say,
Why my
no.
if I didn't go out, you can hear the male entitlement. I'm gonna get KT to go in there as well. But you hear the male entitlement a lot if you just pay attention to how the men talk. Uh to just the way how they explain the things that they do. I don't understand. I'm 6 foot, I'm making over six figures, and like what do that have to do with your character? Why do you think all those things is a contributor to a good relationship? All those things that you are saying is a good contributor to financial wealth, which is a great thing, which is needed as a human being. But as a relationship, none of that shit actually matters. Because if you cannot communicate, you cannot compromise, you cannot move forward in life, if you're not going to pay attention and listen and and understand that the other person is that person, then you are not going to be able to have a fruitful relationship because you actually don't care about
Mhm.
that person. Let's go for men and women, by the way.
Right. No, I agree. But again, when the last comment, the good guys finish last. I mean, I really don't believe that, because you got to think about, um people who get the faster maybe gratification or whatever versus the people who have something more long lasting and meaningful. And that's usually the good guys, the ones who play it safe, the ones who keep their routine and just focus on themselves and their career or whatever they say they want. If they say they want a family, then they're going to make sure that they have a good job. You know what I mean? That's going to, align with those types of, what their vision is. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I don't think that they finish last. You might just get what you want a little bit later in life, because in general, like with both men and women, we are so distracted by the bells and whistles, the lights, being young, feeling like we got to go out and get it, that we have to be a certain status by a certain age or a certain time. And we lose sight of what we
What's
need,
happening for real?
what's actually happening.
And so, like, and
Perfect.
this goes to it, like, and see, and it's very hard for men to actually break the mentality, right? And this goes to why a lot of men do not have integrity, and they don't even realize that they are saying it, right? A high value, he's saying as a high value man, I'm pretty sure that's what he means, has more room to get away with stuff, and this is what men actually believe. They believe because they are high value that they are above consent. I could do whatever I want because I'm so-called high value. They think that a broke man cannot do the same thing as a rich man because of some kind of mental block in their mind that believes that they fantasize about rich men so much. I think they fantasize about rich men more than women. They fantasize what they could do, what kind of car they drive, how much women they having sex with, what kind of this, that. They fantasize about successful men more than women. And it actually has nothing to do with anything. Because when we come to find out, we peel back the layers of the onion and we turn this into a cry fest. Broke men are cheating just as much as the rich one.
I have a question when it comes to that last statement that you made. Do you think that maybe, even when it comes, especially when it comes to the average man, right?
Mhm.
Do you think that maybe it's because they feel lack of control in some aspect of their life, that they want to have control or a certain impact over somebody's life by committing these types of acts or whatever, because they feel out of control themselves
No,
with
I think what I
whatever?
believe is that majority of men feel like they are better than the women that they get. And so they treat them as such. A lot of men do not move with integrity. So the way how they are behind scenes is not the way how they outside. This is why I keep trying to tell men you need to take off your mask and be authentically you, because the person that they present outside is this great beautiful, productive person. And then when you get behind the scenes with him, it's like it's not what you thought at all. It's not even close. It's night and day. It's not like it's not like you just. It's like who am I talking to? Like when we was just outside and you was laughing and joking, and now you act like I'm nothing. We understand how women speak about it all the time. He started off one way, and then now he's secretive. He's always trying to start arguments with me, and we know what those all signs of. So they literally feel like they are better than the women that they get. So to them, they are that rich man to that broke woman, or that broker woman than him.
Okay. Because I only asked that question because, sometimes sorry to take it here, but in like the BDSM realm, which is, we can kind of go there a little bit because, like I said, with Mr. Sharp. But anyway, with that whole thing, like, I mean, even sometimes, with powerful or rich men, they want to be dominated or humiliated or whatever. So when I was, when I thought about that sometimes, especially when it comes to the average man who does not have or cannot dictate his life the way that he feels like he deserves, which is another part of that entitlement, right?
Mm-hmm.
I should have more than this, like you should, but like I said, what's wrong with you? You don't like me, like, but since they don't have control over that because they work an average job, they live an average life, which is nothing wrong with it, but for them it is.
Right.
Therefore, they kind of take it there. You know what I'm saying?
Great point. Welcome to the show, KT to go. You can get in when you fit in. Seems like this is where you ready to jump in. Go
ahead. Salute to you. How are you doing, Miss LA?
I'm good. Hey.
I apologize if it's too loud too.
No, you sound clear. We don't hear nothing. No,
you're good.
Okay. Well, I mean, I somewhat agree. I just think that we kind of skipped the thing. Like, these things aren't things that people believe just because they came out there and said it. Like, good guys finishing last, for example. I mean, it's plenty of men who've been good men to women in relationships, and then they've had those women leave them or mistreat them. I mean, some of these things have credence. Like, it's not simply, I wish it would just be as simple as saying, like, it's the women's fault. It's the dude's fault. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do understand men have to make improvements, but we can't just say it. Like, I've said that continuously. We can't just tell one group to make improvements while telling the other group shit, do you? You know what I'm saying? Hey, whatever make you, if y'all want to go shake y'all ass, do this. Oh, you hating and you telling that you just want to control a woman from being happy. That's what y'all, but then on this opposite end of what y'all would say, our degenerate acts for men is y'all got to control yourselves. Even if it's not a really, like, I'm not being funny. Everybody up here was saying with the Shannon thing, his main problem was he should have paid for it. For real, he should have got some woman on some time like that. If we talking about the Smokey stuff, man, I ain't gonna deny it, bro. It's an 80-year-old man. You telling me you really think an 80-year-old man strong arm some coochie?
It's happened back when they was employed by him. So it's happened when he was strong enough.
When was he employed? When was they employed by him?
So it's four different people that was his maids and stuff like that.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, when was they saying they was employed by him? Because if you ain't been employed by him, man, at least, and let's be really frank here, bro. Fucking Smokey Robinson ain't never been no diesel ass nigga. I ain't saying it like the nigga weak, but 30 years now. Mm-hmm. If that shit was prior to 30 years, because I would say 50-year-old Smokey Robinson ain't doing shit. He ain't handling nobody. That nigga don't hit no gym. He done had a long, successful career. He already living under bodyguards. He ain't had a fight in at least 40 years, almost damn near. Like, I just don't see 20, if we talk 20 years ago, 60-year-old something. 10 years ago, 70-year-old Smokey Robinson strong arming women for coochie. Like, that just
so I'm sorry. And
you could jump in, get LA, because there's a couple of things that we gotta peel back the onion to. Go ahead.
No, I just have one question just to kind of just see where we at right now. KT, do you believe that Hugh Hefner was a creep or did anything wrong?
For sure. For fucking sure.
Okay. And how old was he when he was having all these
Oh,
parties?
he was doing, but I'm
And
not, no,
multiple
listen to me. I'm
girlfriends
not denying the
and all of
fact
these
thereof
things.
that you can do some
Okay.
nasty, wild shit. I'm not saying he can. I'm saying when we talking about now, if a woman would have came out when he was, because I don't remember how old he was when he died, right? But if a woman would have came out like he was 70, he really strong armed me for the thing. Bro, we seen Hugh Hefner. That man was on a ventilator 15 years before he died. Like,
But
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting there. Now, if we talking about young, youthful, all right, you know, I accept that with some creed. But even then, it's kind of weird because now we talking about, if we talking about a youthful, let's go to the last time we could say Smokey really been youthful was his 40s. That's 40 years ago. Like, and I'm not saying I get it. Maybe you just didn't want to come out with the boo. Why take so long and then ask for a big bag with like that's my thing. A lot of these cases, I don't want to judge. I've already said that even when it comes to Shannon. I don't want to judge none of these people. They got court cases. I'm gonna let that evidence pop out before I have true judgment. You feel me? If you convicted, even if the evidence shows you really did some shit, I'm not gonna argue with you. I mean, for you at all. I'm not even gonna, you know, make any kind of defense of you.
But so the problem is that you're already making a defense for it.
No, that's what I'm saying. My only defense is to us to make it. These dudes got a problem, like these, you know what I'm saying? And it's just the accusation. I can't really. Before we have the evidence, all we can do is look at the evidence that we all can see, right? Everything displayed. That's why I'm asking you, even if I lack the information on something, that's why I was asking y'all for clarification. Like, okay, well, how long are these women? How long ago was this happening? You know what I'm saying? Like, when are these women talking
Okay, so
about? Because
if
I
it
won't lie
happened
and say I know
if it happened 20 years ago, 1 day ago, 40 years ago, what is the difference?
I mean, sensibly speaking, again, we talking about an 80-year-old. The 1 day ago would be an 80-something-year-old man strong arming a 30-year-old woman for the cheek.
But
Okay,
I
so
don't.
now what is this
Okay,
idea
sorry.
that the only way you can SA a woman is by to physically
Oh
strong
no,
arm
they
her?
say she said. Well,
Thank you.
I ain't gonna lie. Say again, I don't know the full context, but I was watching shout out to Freezy. I was watching No Captivity Freezy show last night. He was just saying that they was claiming that he took the thing. You feel me?
Right. So again, so what makes you think that you have to be physically stronger than the other person to SA a person?
Well, when you say take, that sounds pretty specific. Like you took it. I don't think you say somebody took it if it's because you paid for it or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
And the
All right.
person could
So
be incapacitated, but
right,
Yeah,
it
I'll
has
take
that.
that
It
definitely.
also
That's
has somebody that
understandable.
is afraid of the power of the person. So do we look at somebody? We got to pay attention. So somebody that has a power of celebrity and fame, do most people look at that as power?
No. I mean, yes. I
Okay,
know
yeah.
what you're doing, and I
Okay,
see what you're doing.
okay.
But
So
listen to
it
me.
doesn't.
That doesn't mean anything in actuality. I
So this
can't
is
sit here and say,
so this is the
listen.
problem. So this is where we go with men trying to defend, right?
It's not men trying to defend. It's actuality. I cannot go and tell a police officer right now, oh, I was worried and scared about your authority. So I let them fuck me in the ass. You know, ain't nobody gonna be like, well, that was understandable.
Right.
Like
So
you could be afraid of anything because anybody supposed like quote unquote. It's many y'all how y'all talking about like the mayors and shit. The fucking city assessor.
try not to
He's in a
curse as
power
much.
position for you.
Try not to curse as much. But again, so we do understand that a lot of police officers, they do actually do that to who? Prostitutes, right? They say, hey, either I'm going to arrest you or you're going to allow me to take advantage and do whatever I got to do for free. Because he has what? Authority over her. He's threatening her with jail time. He's threatening her with all these other, whatever his position of power is. So again, it's very easy to disprove these things. Power dynamics is important. So yes.
Yep. Again, but to say because it's an outlier or example of that happening doesn't mean that that's the traditional thing. The traditional thing is lock me up and throw away the key, motherfucker. You got me fucked up. Ain't nobody about to really sit there. I mean, we talking about, no offense, we talking about girls street walking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that you know what I'm saying? They a little bit more they already in a position to be influenced of that nature anyways. And I'm not talking bad, ill, nothing about them. You know, I'm just saying for most of them to be in that situation, they done had things happen to where they, you know, whatever.
I gotta,
Right, and already you giving excuses. Again, you defending again. Now you saying that
I
because
gotta.
go ahead, LA.
I'm so sorry.
You good?
I gotta. All right. So we can't talk about any type of essay like it's a purse snatching. Okay. Like I know that, you know, like I said, women are more built to receive than give or whatever, but when it's unwanted, it's devastating, bro. Like it stops a lot of people in their tracks. So when you say, well, why did it take them so long? Okay, well, let's think about this. When it comes to the young lady that's associated with Shannon Sharp, right?
Mhm.
Why did she react so fast? I think what's the lawyer's name who has beef with
Tony
Busby.
yeah.
Busby.
Okay, did he not seek her out and maybe say or convince her that, hey, if you say this, that, and the third happened, we got a case. Similar to if a housekeeper says, hey, this happened to me, man, ain't nobody gonna believe you. They're disempowered. Like you have to think about both sides of the coin. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I know that people are different and they, you know, but I would never, I know a lot of people and some people do put false allegations on folks, man, but like we got to look into this instead of just saying that, oh no, it can't be true. You don't know how a person's mind works. And when we're talking about the power dynamic, that's what it's all about. It's not even about half the time, maybe the sexual gratification. It's about how that person is making that other person feel by
Mhm.
subjugating them. And also what I heard from the housekeepers who were, you know, making these allegations. I mean, you don't know what the tax bracket was. They were in fear of losing their livelihood. They were in fear of losing different things. And you just doing your job and then you feel hands come up from behind you and they grab your breast. You don't know what to do. You're stuck. This is your boss who's quote unquote 80 years old. Do you turn around and clock him in the face? Like sometimes
Yeah,
people
that
get
sounds like a
frozen.
lawsuit right there. I mean, I don't know.
How do
I'm
you
not being
prove it?
funny.
How do
Like
you prove it? How do you
what-
prove it? He's
the punch in
Smokey
his face.
Robinson. Oh, right. No, but I'm saying if he comes up from behind her and gropes her hypothetically, and her response is to punch him in his face, she's
Mhm.
defending herself. She's acting reactionary the way that you are kind of insinuating that people of these who experience these things, they should immediately just go run and tell. Do you know how many interviews, how many times they got to tell the stories, how many kids, how many pictures, it's something that a lot of people are not ready to face at the time. Period. So I just think it was just a little unfair for you to just, you know, with the why they wait so long. You never know why. You never know why. And us as Black people, we have had to transition from tragedy to tragedy, traumatic experience with no break in between. That's our style. That's a lot of people's style
Nah,
because
we always said something no
they
matter
have
what
to
the
keep
tragedy
moving. They
was,
got
though,
bills to
right?
pay. Huh?
But look, though, no matter what our tragedy was, we said something, didn't we?
Maybe eventually.
Even when motherfuckers was saying we is conspiracy, niggas was talking about, oh, they dropping shit, crop dusting and shit like that. When that, because that was Black people saying that. We was
Okay,
saying
I
that.
was
And
talking
they
about
was saying,
I'm
oh,
talking
that's
about like
conspiracy theory. We always say what's up. And I ain't saying that maybe that you right. Maybe that's just my thinking of like a Black person. Because I know Black people really ain't gonna act like that.
no,
Black people most of the time, they just gonna sit there and be like, nigga.
I'm taking it further back where we were forced to you know, we were used for sexual objects, both men and women. You know what I'm
Oh, we
saying?
still
Like
are till to this day.
I know, but I'm not talking about conspiracy theories and chemtrails and stuff because I get you, but I'm talking about before then when it was really like out of our hands. Like you could not even walk home, you know what I'm saying, without the fear of being harassed or possibly, you know, taken out of here. You know what I'm saying? Because of the climate and just the attitude. So that's what I'm talking about. We went from one, you know, we transitioned to get better, but we didn't have no break, is what I'm saying. Victims have never really had no break. You know what I'm saying? So for a lot of people, they're just like, damn, yeah, this happened to me today, but now I got to go pick my kids up and make them dinner.
Mhm.
You know what I'm
I
saying? And make
understand
sure
that.
they got, you know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just a little bit more, it's a little bit more complicated than that. You know, we
No,
got to focus on why are people indulging or even like desiring certain activities. That's why I'm just like, I'm a proud vanilla person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I shoot missionary all day. Like, shoot, ain't no mistaken with that. Not down to anybody else who does what they do, but it's just like it's you have to understand at the same time we gonna raise eyebrows. Like some people might. Why are you doing that? That's not what that's made for. That's not what you're supposed to be doing with the person that you being intimate with. Like, I mean, I don't see a problem with opposing opinions.
I
But at the
mean,
same time, it's a slippery slope because I mean, if you got to have a safe word, that's a problem.
not look, and I agree, right? But this the thing, we not in that, and we have to accept some things, right? In terms of kind of what me and D was talking about yesterday on the show, social constructs, right? I agree, it's a lot of things that's immoral, but we're literally in a country where we're all telling each other things we might know is immoral, like is okay depending on how we feel. It's all about how you feel. You know what I'm saying? Instead of looking at the overall cost of things. Even with me talking about earlier, like girls, I'm not no nigga talking about girls got to stay in the house or none of that shit, right? But I do get what some men be talking about when they say like it's a girl out here with literal what was the word, what were they called, coochie cutters, shit like that. Like your whole cheek is out. You out here with
And you
kids
just
too.
couldn't help yourself. You
What?
see what I'm saying? No, I'm just saying the whole climate, you don't understand what it's like to be going from a child, if you're born a woman or a female, right? And you're a kid and you're allowed to kind of, trounce and do your little thing, right? But as soon as puberty starts hitting, it's like, oh my goodness. You know what I'm saying? You
No,
don't
I'm
need to
talking
wear
about
that
grown
because the
women. I
men
ain't say nothing about no
outside.
kids. I just said it be grown women who
But the
got
men out,
kids.
but I mean, have y'all never
That's all.
seen this type of shit before? Like, can
What?
people not control them? It might be inappropriate. You can turn your nose, you can frown, you can shame them. You don't have to be like, hey, what's your name? Let me squeeze them cheeks. Like, you don't have to do
Nah, I
that.
mean, I'm not saying now. So you took this to a whole different parallel because I ain't saying now that gives a man the right to approach her anyway. I'm
We're
saying
talking about entitlement, though.
that's kind of but that wasn't what we were talking about just right there in that last line. I was just saying in terms of how we saying this is some shit. If y'all would see, niggas was like, we all agree to be out here in gray sweatpants. Y'all gonna be niggas is so nasty and this degenerate shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, but on the opposite end of that, we telling women like, shit, girl, wear what you want, do what you want to do. It's okay. I'm not saying that gives a man the right to approach anybody or anything of that nature. I'm saying everybody got a role to play. We all can't, because this is society. Society isn't built like, don't get me wrong, I get even what men say about this being built on just their hands. It's not. You feel me? It may have been built more physically, but women did a lot of the thinking. They've done a lot of the organization. They played just the biggest part. But that's
I'm
the
sorry, the
thing,
biggest
like
part in what?
I said, just as big a part. Like in building
In
this
what
country,
though?
things of that nature. Like
Oh, we built
the
the
black
country
girls from
too.
West Virginia. I mean, well, nah, they weren't all from West Virginia, I don't believe. But
I know you ain't saying we built the country.
I'm talking about, I'm
We
not.
built the country, men and women. That's what I'm saying. What part did women have
Yeah.
or play?
I'm saying in terms of like thinking, a lot of backwood connections, even down to that. You may be married to a person, married to a woman, and her family is who got you the connection. That's what I'm saying. It may not be as much physical part on the female's hands, but it was a lot of mental part, doing thinking, uh, orchestrating things behind the scene. Because, like I said, it is women. We know this. The only reason this one oil baron knew the next oil baron was because their family had got married here. You get what I'm saying? Like, so that does play. I'm not going to down credit that. Even with us talking about in the black community,
Okay, so
so
but
the
all right,
black people.
let's get back to the part that you are not realizing that you're doing with the entitlement part. Like even when you bring up the gray sweatpants. So are you saying when you walk down the street with gray sweatpants, there's a bunch of women just chasing you down, like, oh, let me touch that, let me see
And
what's in your
grabbing
pants?
you,
No, but it's definitely girls looking,
but they're
and
not
my lady don't
touching
even
or
allow it. Like
Okay,
that's why
so
my lady don't
okay,
allow it.
so you saying that if you wore gray sweatpants and your thing is swinging so bad that is better than every other man walking down the street.
I didn't. That's
You
where
don't-
you threw some
don't-
shit in that made no sense because I never said nothing about my gray sweatpants makes me better than anyone else. I'm saying the gray sweatpants, you see the print.
Okay, so
I'm not saying I got the giantest meat in the
okay,
world, nothing
okay,
of this nature. I'm saying the
okay.
print is there.
Okay,
Women
so the
will
print,
look.
so the print is there. So if a woman was to jump on you and take it from you, you're saying that you would kind of understand.
That's what I'm saying. I say every time, none of this gives nobody justification to do anything.
So, but when
Like I
you
said
bring it
from
up
the
the way how
beginning.
you bring it up, it gives justification.
No, it
You
doesn't.
understand that?
If you literally saying it does not give justification, it's not saying you made that statement and that gives it justification. No, no, it doesn't.
I mean, you
So
brought up.
maybe you not understand how English language works.
I do very well.
So right, so therefore you can make a suggestion about something without saying it, don't you think?
Yeah, yes, that's very much
Okay,
possible.
so when you are suggesting that when she's wearing coochie cutters and you are giving the man an excuse is the problem.
No,
that
I
you are
didn't. I literally
misunderstanding.
said I'm saying y'all say these are degenerate. There are degenerate things men do. Most of the time, y'all talking about how men act sexually. But then you will say on the opposite end of this argument, oh, well, they're doing sexual things, and that's okay. That's not giving nobody justification to take something from someone else. I'm just saying you can't tell one group.
So now we're
about
gonna give you an
degeneracy.
opportunity to clean it up. What is on the other side? Because
I just said it. It's nothing. It's no chance to clean it up. It's already been there and present. Like you said, do
what
you
is it
understand?
that women are doing that is degenerate?
Again, if you're outside in coochie cutters.
All right, so
like, let's be frank here. You got kids and everything of that, man.
So hold on, slow down. So a woman wearing coochie cutters is sexual degeneracy.
Yeah, you got your cheeks out. That's crazy.
And so now, what is the man's sexual degeneracy?
Like I said, wearing gray sweatpants.
That's not sexual degeneracy.
No, I'm saying these are what they would call degenerate acts. Like women do not like their dudes wearing gray sweatpants. Like, let's stop bullshitting here. What are we doing?
Okay, what are we doing is talking about sexual misconduct, sexual degeneracy. Wearing clothes is not sexual degeneracy. Because if that is the case, that everybody that is at a beach with a bathing suit on is showing sexual degeneracy.
No. See, we call it degenerate acts with men or women, whatever, because of the place. Like it's a time and place for something. At the beach, well, it's hot as fuck, and you're literally by the water. It's sensible for you all to be in shorts and bathing suits, but for you to be in the city, in a town, at a park where kids are playing, and you have your kids playing there, and your kid drops something, and now you're busting Chico. Like I'm not saying again, I'm not saying this gives nobody right, but I'm saying look at the presentation here. Like, is this not a degenerate presentation? Like, because if a nigga does this on the opposite end, y'all will say, y'all call this nigga a bandit. You think? Like, let's be real.
I don't.
So you actually believe that a man wearing gray sweatpants, you think they call those men bandits?
I know for a fact women tell their dudes not to wear gray sweatpants, and we know why.
I need you to answer the question I'm asking you. A man that wears gray sweatpants, is that man a bandit?
No.
The majority of women call men that wear gray sweatpants bandits.
Results may vary.
The majority of women call men that wear gray sweatpants bandits.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a scenario.
This is crazy to me. Like, I don't understand, where is this mental gymnastics coming from? Why is it so difficult?
How do I have gymnastics?
That's all. Like, I think I would. Like, I can try
something. I just gave you the opposite, and you're not saying that.
Why are you talking while I'm talking?
You're not saying it's not a degenerate thing. Go ahead.
Yes, because wearing clothes, you cannot say wearing clothes is degenerate things. But we are talking about men literally, possibly groping their employees, physically touching them.
And I never justified that, have I? Only thing I ever even said towards Smokey is, where are we going to lie in the story? Are we going to sit here? Are we going to?
You think that your words mean more?
Assume that everything said is proven?
Do you believe that your words is more truthful than mine? Do you believe your words are more truthful than mine?
No, it's not a matter of truth.
You keep talking.
So why you not allowing me to finish my statement?
Go ahead.
So again, a man that is in a position of power that is taking advantage of women by being because of his celebrity, because he's a boss, because she is a low wage employee, because she has maybe status in the country, using all these things to take advantage of her. He do not have to have some physical prowess over her because he have all these other things, and plus he has a celebrity to say, who's going to believe you over me? All those things. And then now we see 4 women coming out saying this man possibly did some sexual deviancy. Why are we saying what a woman's wearing with coochie cutters have anything to do with a man overstepping his boundary with physical touch?
Yeah, well, as you're saying, we got a different. I literally brought up a separate thing, and y'all, you just kind of tied it back there. Again, I've never said it's no excuse for if it happened, but your basis of starting in the premise that he's already guilty. That's what I'm saying. When you make these comments, you're saying these people have already done it based on just the accusation. That's all I'm pointing out. Somebody makes an accusation, and that means exactly what they said is what happened. Not even saying that it did or did not happen, but just simply because she said it, now that's proof that a man is taking advantage of his authority. However, that's why I'm saying I'm not agreeing with it nor against it. I'm playing devil's advocate, I guess you'll say on this part.
So you're not playing devil's advocate. You're making excuses. Devil's advocate would say, I don't want to pass judgment yet because I want to hear his side.
That's literally what I've said. I've literally said that already. It's no evidence they have a court case. I would like the evidence to come out, and then I'll have a proper judgment. But before then, all we can do is look at what's there. And that's the story at hand. So I can also make a prior opinion based on just that. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so
go ahead.
So the problem is what you don't realize is that you literally going to his side to say, hey, I don't believe her just because she made an accusation. You don't realize that is a defense.
Yeah, no, I don't believe either one of these niggas. I don't know what happened. I know it's crazy to say this is an example of a man taking advantage of a woman. That's what I'm saying. It's not defense of him. It's defense of saying, well, and even if you want, you know what? Fuck it. You can take it that way, right?
Pause. Do you believe that men in power take advantage of women?
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so that's what the conversation
sometimes.
is about. Right, that men in power.
I mean, now that's what I'm saying. What are we now saying? Every man in power is just taking advantage of women?
Look, we kind of just went over and solidified the fact there is an issue with just women wearing certain things and men just cannot control. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain things that are inevitable just because she's wearing clothes. What if she lived in a southern region where it's hot as fuck? She's outside doing work or whatever. She's busy and she's moving from place to place. And you know, like why does that? How does that stop you from not over sexualizing? It's almost like the same thing with like breastfeeding in public. How people have to try to go find little corners and stuff because, oh my God, it's a boob. Why is it being sexualized? That is the point.
This is where we'll have a problem forever.
It's almost
right?
like because hold on, I got an example. Okay, and I got an example. Let's say you in a club, right? People wear club gear in the club, right? But when I was younger, we always knew that as women, we had to hold hands, walk behind each other because they gonna try to pinch your ass. What makes y'all feel like because we have on certain clothes that you just have to do something? That's a difference. Where it's like you're wearing clothes for functionality or for, because, that's your style or whatever versus somebody being physically, oh, well, shit, since you got that on, I can do this. That's not what that means. But that's the problem.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Answer her first.
What was the question?
Oh, wow.
Why is it more of the woman was doing this or the woman had this on or whatever instead of what?
Yeah, kid.
Did she cut out?
Yeah. So the question is, why what
It's-
a woman is
sorry.
wearing? There you go. Yeah, Ella, you back. Okay. Why what a woman is wearing? What's up, Shicey? Why what a woman is wearing is an excuse for men to overstep their boundaries.
It's not an excuse, but you guys, what you're doing is now imply. You throw a word on nobody saying. You're just saying that this is what I get out of that. But it's with anybody, right? How you was talking about me and smoking in my nails. Presentation means something, does it not? And when you're presented a certain way, would you not think that will give you a certain perception?
I'm sorry. Oh,
I'm confused about what you're asking.
I'm saying if is presentation not important?
Oh,
Like
are you
were talking
referring
about
to
my
the
nails
whole
and things.
outfit?
So
no, in every manner. I'm talking about in everyday manner. We were even up here talking about the zoot suit stuff. Let's bring back dandyism because it makes you look more respectable.
Mm-hmm.
So we do understand image means a lot.
Okay.
So when we sit here and act like all of a sudden now, the image doesn't mean a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm not making these arguments to say,
okay, so hold on,
this
hold
is
on,
justification,
hold
but
on,
hold on. Keep saying,
you hear me talking? Hold on.
I mean, I ain't finished talking.
No, but you babbling. Shit, I'm talking to you. So this way, it's more than just me. Listen. So you saying that it is a certain outfit that a woman can wear that says "touch me"?
Nigga, and this is what I'm saying. Where did I say that? So please don't imply that because you can't bring up nowhere where I said that.
Because
so as they say, stop putting words in my mouth. I never said that.
I'm not put. Yes, you did. So this is how.
No, I did not. Please tell me one sentence where I said that.
Y'all aggravate me so much because I don't know if y'all just will. Okay.
No,
you brought up the coochie cutters.
Okay, hold on. The reason why you said it because you said presentation matters.
Yeah, so it's saying presentation matters. How did you get what you said out of that?
Christ, let me finish a thought. You said presentation matters. And the conversation is about men overstepping their boundaries, touching women. So are you saying that women can present themselves in a way where
I literally said this before you asked this. Now you're saying you just said I was babbling.
While I'm talking, I don't understand.
Because you asked the same question 4 times now.
No, I did. Oh my God.
You've asked me every time, does this give you permission? I've said every time, no, but I'm not arguing about whether something gives you permission. I'm not arguing about that.
So why are you bringing up presentation matters if we haven't?
Because I'm talking about in terms of how things are being done on your end, where you're saying this is an example of a man in power taking advantage of people, but we don't have the evidence. Somebody just simply made the accusation. However, off that accusation alone, you are just simply sitting here saying we have to accept that this is what's happening.
KT, are you not listening to your words? Are we talking about men overstepping their boundaries and touching women because of their clothes?
No.
Yes or no? Is that the conversation?
No.
That's not the conversation.
What we talk about, dear?
I simply brought up that is an act, that's some sexual shit that y'all would call. If a man did something of that nature, they would say that is a sexual act, a deviant act. I'm not even gonna say it's just sex. They say this is deviant shit
because they're acting on
that opposite end. We can not say the women.
So the woman's wearing the clothes, and the man is acting on his sexuality because he see her with a fat ass and the coochie because he touches it. Who is the sexual deviant there?
He's definitely the more sexual deviant for sure.
Thank you.
More. So she is one as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm not saying for sure.
So now explain to me how.
I mean, for most likely.
Hold on. So we could go. So how is she the sexual deviant because she has on short shorts?
Again, presentation. Why are you wearing this? I'm not saying
stop there. So now you are saying again. You don't even realize. I don't know if you're not understanding the words that you're saying.
No, I understand what I'm saying.
You got sundresses and maxi dresses. That ass
saying that she's presenting herself where a sexual deviant is going to touch her. Correct?
No, I mean, I'm
What
saying
the fuck
you
is
know.
going on?
Are you saying you can put yourself? If you're arguing, can you put yourself in the position for that? Nobody can argue that. Yeah, that's what the fuck. Yes, you can be in position for anything with a bunch of clothes on and 4 jackets. Nigga can still say I want to take it. What the hell? Just going outside puts you in the position for anything to happen. So that's not an argument. I'm just saying, like when you're presenting yourself in a certain way,
when you don't
people
know
will
what
think
you're
a certain
saying.
thing.
Oh my God.
Okay. This is fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I
the
do
source
not
don't
know.
matter
I do
then.
not understand for the life of me how you cannot follow a conversation. This is crazy to me. Literally, we talking about we're being very specific. A man walking down the street sees a woman in short shorts. He touches her. And you are saying that because the way how she dressed is the reason why, and you're not understanding that. That's what you are saying. That is crazy.
No, I know. I know that's what I'm saying. I know to a certain extent that's what I'm saying. And even what do you keep saying about Shannon Sharp and all these other men? Y'all shouldn't have put yourself in a position to be having this happen. So why is it now only applies to me? That's what I'm saying. We can't just say it improves.
So
again, the whole
you asked the question. You asked the question. You asked the question. So the reason why is because the man is the one pursuing it.
The man's the one pursuing it.
Huh?
The man's the one pursuing it.
Yes.
Ooh.
If the woman is wearing coochie cutters, he pursued her by going to her and grabbing her ass. Do you understand that?
Sure. For sure.
Okay, so that's why the man is held accountable.
In that situation, but this is not, you know what I'm saying? In that situation, yeah, but let's be real. Like most girls really not out here every day in coochie cutters. That's the first thing I'm gonna say. So that's what I'm saying. I don't want to make this seem like I'm just saying bitches out here all day long wearing nothing but coochie cutters. That's not what I'm saying. It's very few women that actually do that. But the ones that do that, they are kind of...
KT, stop filibustering. We know what you are saying. You don't need to add anything extra into it. I don't know what's wrong with y'all. That's too much butter. We are literally following the thought of what you are saying. I don't understand why y'all are so afraid that, hey, listen, that's who you are, then that's who you are. Just own up to it. You don't gotta try to act like it's this and that, and maybe this and maybe that. No, stick to what it is. The mask is off.
Like we understand. We're not 3-year-olds. Conversations can have nuance at this point.
But this conversation,
everything's not just yes or no.
Hold on with the nuance bullshit. Hold on. Nuances is not what we're talking about. We are talking about something very specific right now. So you cannot say it's nuance. You cannot add nuance to something that is very specific. Because once you add the nuance, it changes the scenario.
I ain't gonna cap to you. I need a little break. It's my young birthday. I'm gonna stay here, but it's my young birthday, and he wants some stuff real quick, so I gotta give it for him.
Welcome to the show, hey y'all. What's your thoughts? And then we have Bomb Cherry right after.
Hey y'all.
Good morning. Cherry, you here?
Good morning.
I don't know if she's here.
Who? Bomb,
Cherry.
you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you
Hey,
can go.
Bomb.
You can go ahead. I gotta do something.
Oh, hey everybody, how y'all doing? I'm in the hospital listening to KT. He's had this conversation before, and you could tell the men who are like dangerous, right? Because they truly do think that a woman, just based on how she dressed, means she must want something. He said that several times up here, and then he said he didn't say it, and then just now he said, I understand. That's what I'm saying, to an extent, right? Then he also says that it matters on the time frame in which a woman tells. So something happened to me over 20 years ago, y'all. Actually, over 30 years now. And when I went to go and tell, even before I went to tell, he told me nobody would believe me. and I need to sit my ass down. He was my sergeant while I was in the Army. He had all the power. I had zero. Not only that, but he abused the power because after he did what he did to me, every Friday he made me sit in his office, just me and him, privately, on my day off. And there was nothing I could do about it. When I tried to go and tell EEOC, they explained to me, oh, you should be happy that women can be in the military. So what I'm saying is, just because somebody come out many years later, don't mean they didn't try to come out before, or maybe they realized they couldn't. And it doesn't make it not true. Okay? There's a lot of people who never tell. So I don't understand this thinking, but yeah, I don't understand. Like when he said that he don't believe her, he is already on his side. If he don't want to take don't want to take a side and have just an honest conversation, why would you say you don't believe her? You automatically believe she's a liar.
I didn't say I don't believe her. I just said, I'm saying it's no evidence on either side. Right now, all it is an accusation. Like somebody just came
But
out
you
and
don't
said,
need to know that. People believe that about
no,
Trump, right? They believe that about Trump. They say, oh, they just came forward just in the last 8 years. But that's not true. He had charges. People claim what he had done way back then.
yeah, I'm not even debating whether or not somebody's already tried to put case against him or anything. I'm simply saying, I said I'm not arguing whether or not somebody's already tried to, these people have already tried to get him in court or anything of that nature. All I'm saying is, right now, all it is this is Smokey Robinson over here. This is a woman who came out and said he did this, or a group of women who said he did this. And that's it.
Yeah,
I can't sit there and say because like I was saying, Sharon's point is from the beginning. This is an example of a man in power taking advantage of people. And then that means his position is he did do it. And I'm just saying, why are we instantly saying he did do it? Why wouldn't we just look at it and say, come on now, we don't have the evidence, but the evidence we do have, it's some women saying Smokey took something.
Yeah.
And
I didn't hear Sharon say he did it. That's not what I ever heard him say.
He literally said this is an example of a man taking advantage of his position.
He said this yes, it could be an
You can use
example
it as
of
a
a man.
hypothetical.
That's right. Taking advantage of using their power. He didn't say that he did it though.
What?
You don't understand that?
All we can do on, like, especially when there's like, fresh news and current cases, we can only kind of use them as like a visual hypothetical. You know what I'm saying? But we have to take what we're like, the limited facts that we do have. We got to take those. Did you hear anything that Bomb Cherry said about her experience?
Smokey Robinson have been accused of this shit in the past. Apparently new younger people hearing it for the first time. So you thinking, oh my God, this was not even abnormal back in the day.
Smokey is up there too. When it comes to his celebrity, Smokey is up there.
Yeah, he used to be up there. But like LA said, right? It's a lot of us women go to the club. We know we went to the club and everything, and men would just grab us. When I was in high school, when I was in elementary school, boys just used their power because I guess they thought that's what boys do, grabbing our butts and everything about our bodies. Do you disagree with that, KT? You ain't never seen that?
No, for sure.
What?
For sure, I understand. I'm saying for sure. I agree. I understand that's something that happens.
Have you seen it before?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So why are we
partaking in it? I've smacked hella women's cheeks.
Oh my God! I told y'all.
We understand.
Now we know. Yes.
Okay. So you.
Oh no, I've never done it to some woman I don't know because that's weird. How the fuck? Why would I be touching on a woman I don't know? But I'm saying I did. Like, girls I know or I fucked with. Yeah, I've smacked their ass many a times. Even like girls, like I said, I'll admit I've had many relationships that wasn't nothing, but we simply fucking. So yeah, nah.
So
Even if I'm
therefore,
not
you're not
fucking with
actually
y'all.
protecting Smokey. You're protecting yourself. I got you.
Yeah,
So
that's cap. That's big cap. And that's where that's no offense, that's for real the low hanging fruit, as y'all say, where you now try to swear to God that you're defending something because that's you. That doesn't make sense because that's not what I said. I've
You
never
just
touched
said it.
any female I do not know. Do y'all understand that? So there's not no situation
But
where I'm
it's not
smacking girls
about.
on the ass
Did
because
you?
they in the club.
So okay,
It's not.
so hold on. So you saying that as long as you know her and she have coochie cutters on, you could touch her ass.
If you've had a relationship with her, yeah.
No.
Or y'all have already been
That's
building on
crazy.
like flirting
So
type
now
shit.
you moving it, right? So Bomb Cherry asked you something.
No, that's not moving it. You asked me what I've done. That's what I'm saying. This is what I've done.
No, you offered that information. We didn't ask you what you did.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I'm telling you what I've done, and you're trying to say, no, this is what you did.
I'm going to explain you how conversations are going. Bomb Cherry asked you something very specific. Have you been to school and seen young boys just touching on girls' asses unwanted? And you said yes. And
yes,
then
I've seen it. And I said yes, and I've smacked girls on the asses. I'm partaking in it.
And then you double down and say, yes, I've done
and
it.
she didn't even say nothing about boys in school for real. I don't think.
Yes, I did.
Am I tripping?
Yeah, you tripping.
Okay. I apologize.
And then you doubled down and said, "I've done it myself."
Oh, I'll be honest. I didn't hear that part. I thought you just said like men because you was talking about men just touching women's ass. I mean, smacking women's asses. I thought we were still going there. But yeah,
yes.
I mean, no, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I'm not.
I've never done it to some woman unwanted that I don't know or anything of that nature. Now, if I have a relationship with a woman,
So let's say you and I had a relationship. You know me. You would just walk up behind me and grab my ass.
No, you married now. What the fuck?
No, even if I wasn't married, I'm not talking about that. You know, this hypothetical. We knew each other.
Very
We know
dependent on
each
how
other.
our relationship was.
Oh, so without asking me for permission, for some
Depending
reason,
on
because
how our
we know
relationship
each other,
was, yeah.
you think you have the right to grab in my ass. That is crazy work.
No, it's the result. That's why I said depends on our relationship. Now, I think it'll be known. Like you, I'm not gonna say you personally. I think we've all had somebody we done fucked with that. You fucked with that person for a minute, maybe even a couple.
Yeah, that don't
people
mean. But that don't. My husband can't just walk up for no reason and just grab my ass, right? Well, he kind of can, right? We've been married.
I was about to say that's
no, that's okay. We've been married, so if it's your wife, okay, cool. You already know she's good with that. Some women not good with that though. Like I'm not good with that because of what happened to me in the past. My husband cannot just walk up to me and start grabbing my butt just because we married.
I mean, that's understandable. Like you said, you've had a situation that's very understandable.
Okay, so let me frame it differently. Maybe we can have a better understanding because you are all over the place.
Acting like people don't have relationships or something like that.
Okay, like I was literally talking. You can't hear me?
Yeah.
That's crazy. Your daughter comes up to you and say, "Hey, this boy slapped me on my ass. What's your next move?"
Ooh.
Good question.
Probably not a good one, to be very honest.
So, who you gonna? So your next move is what?
I'm not gonna call Ghostbusters. That's all I'm gonna say. I also won't indict myself.
Okay, so this is a hypothetical. It's not about indicting anything.
Something might happen in real life. I do have a daughter coming.
Wow, that's bad. That's so bad.
I mean, I think it's bad that you would instantly say that's bad. Because like no,
you gonna blame your daughter for what she wearing, right? If she come and say, "Dad, Tommy down the street, who I've been knowing since kindergarten,"
I wouldn't let my daughter wear half the shit that we're talking about.
Hello, if Tommy down the street, who I've been going to school with since kindergarten, Dad, he just grabbed my hand. I don't know why he did that. What you gonna say? Oh, he been knowing you since kindergarten.
That ain't what I said. That's what I'm saying. Y'all make these correlations. Y'all make these correlations as something that's not the same but similar, and then say.
And then there's some men in the chat, right? When I said that my husband cannot just grab me, he cannot. And
I
I
mean,
gave an answer. I said because of something I went through, my husband cannot just walk up behind me and grab me. I may go into a panic attack, right? I don't know why these men think just because they're married to a woman, they get to grab her body parts whenever they want. Now, some women don't mind it; they love it. Every woman does it though. I don't know. I don't understand what the problem is.
I mean, I guess the problem is for a man, right? Like, or at least how it seems, in my opinion. It seems like when we get on or this panel, right? It's basically men have to be
Respectful,
end all be
responsible.
all, and we
Oh
gotta
my
just let
God.
everybody else do them. I mean, because I'm not saying end all be all in terms of like you take care of shit, but at the same time, it's like we get these things about all this to get fixed if the men would just do this, right? And then also say, well, we can lead ourselves, and then also say, well, these niggas need to act like that, but we can do whatever. Like, it does make it a confusing topic. It makes it hard to speak because it's like,
So you believe that a woman wearing coochie cutters is doing whatever?
no, I think presentation means a lot for any of us,
Okay,
all of us.
okay.
And I think,
Okay.
listen,
I
like
don't
I
want it.
told
I
me
don't
before,
want it to be confused. I want you to be to hold a straight line. So now, when a woman is wearing coochie cutters, what is that presents? That what presentation is it saying?
she's a little bit more revealing, just maybe a little faster in stepping.
What does that mean? Fast and stepping.
Fast and ass.
This is not the time to use slang.
A little fast and ass. You
Also,
ever
you're
heard
saying
of
that because she wearing short shorts, that means that what? That she is.
I mean, the
Very,
perception
that means that
that
she's
will
very.
be
It means
the
that she's very
perception that most will
sexual.
have, men will have, is she's fast and ass.
That she is sexual.
Yes. And not just sexual, probably a little hypersexual.
That is
Wow.
crazy. But I mean, I'm glad that you're able to just say the quiet thing out loud.
But what? Because I was trying to listen to figure out what exactly the point is. So let's say like they are sexual or hypersexual. What does that mean?
We shouldn't be.
Oh yeah, I guess I
we
jumped in. I mean,
shouldn't.
I guess I started listening at a
No,
bad time
you
because
understood.
Yeah.
You understood it. You just trying not. You doing it better than what I am. You trying to rope it in and have some clear understanding. You doing it. You understood.
okay.
Yeah,
So because when I came in, I heard it sounded like you weren't justifying, or you were attempting to say you weren't necessarily justifying these type of women being assaulted and stuff like that. And then they ask you, what does the hoochie shorts or whatever you want to call them mean? You say it means that they're probably sexual or overly hypersexual, whatever. And I'm asking you what that means, and you respond with, "Well,
so
they
you
shouldn't
broke
be."
up, like you said, you came in late. So what the first conversation was them saying about Smokey
It's okay.
Robinson.
We
and
don't.
I
Hold
was
on.
just,
Hold on.
No, let me
Hold
can I
on.
explain?
No, hold on. Just have the conversation to where we at now. We don't need to go backwards in the
He
conversation.
brought up the opposite
Can
conversation.
you say what your main point? Like, what is your point of saying they're hypersexual?
The point of this was about, again, presentation for all of us. Well, I'm saying how we're because again, I started talking about how we all in image, how they say it's important for a male to look or whatever. All of us should be taking our image a certain way. You can't be mad if somebody thinks that. Well, not thinks that it's okay, but you can't be mad if somebody, like, you'll tell a man, we'll tell Shannon Sharp and all these guys, hey, you shouldn't be putting yourselves in the positions for this to happen. Yeah, I don't think it's anything wrong with us telling women also, even in that situation, you shouldn't do certain things. I mean, that's I'm not saying it's about making it okay for them. It's preventing it happening.
Oh,
Doing what?
goodness.
So what is it that she's doing that is that's going to prevent it from happening?
I mean,
what is it that she's doing that's making things happen to her?
Like I said, if you dress a certain way, people are gonna have a certain thought about you. That's really very simple. Again,
But what does that thought have to do with anything? That's what I'm confused about. You keep on saying they might have. So if I see a girl dressed like a thought, or what I perceive to be a thought. Okay, I think she's a thought. That has nothing to do, but I'm not, that just means I'm not going to talk to her. But it sounds like you're saying that because somebody else might think she's a thought or whatever, that is the reason that they should touch her without her permission or something.
Reason for nothing.
I know you're not saying that. That's what it sounds. Okay, I just said you didn't say that. It sounds like that's what you're saying. So how you're speaking, the words you were using, and the way that you're saying things, it makes it. Because if there's multiple people, if there's 4 other people on this panel, and 3 of them have said what I'm saying, or I'm the third person now say this to you.
But it's okay to think.
It's what?
Where did I say it's okay to do anything physical once for any 4 people on this panel?
There's everybody except you on this panel currently is hearing what you're saying, and we are all perceiving it to mean that you're implying or outright stating something. So maybe you should reframe the way you are saying it.
Well, if I'm not saying anything physical and I've only said thought, how else could I reframe it? What can make it simpler for you guys to understand? I guess what, AR, I've even said multiple times, I do not agree with any man just doing something to a woman. I don't agree with anybody just doing something to anyone. I've said that already. So I don't, again, tell me how more simpler can I make it to get it understood?
Because I'm still not, because you keep on, you said, oh, if she's dressed like this, that means that she's hypersexual. The thought
would be that she's hypersexual, right? Isn't that exactly what I said?
But what is it? Who cares if someone if someone's hypersexual? If someone
physical, that's all I'm asking you.
Okay, who cares if someone is hypersexual or if people think that they're hypersexual?
Physical.
Because you keep on saying, don't put yourself in these situations, don't dress hypersexual, and you would avoid these situations or would help prevent these types of situations. Because if you're dressed like that around people, they're going to think a certain way about you. And which implies
might actually attempt that. They're most likely which implies
that because you are dressed a certain way, you are giving permission to individuals or condoning or whatever them doing something to you. So when you're going down that train of thought, that's what it starts getting into, which is what people are trying to tell you, and you just keep on talking.
We agree that it's creeps that do think because a woman does that, they can do that, right? We all agree on that, right?
The focus is not on the creeps though for you. It's about the people who are like, you know what I'm saying, just dressing a certain way or whatever, but you're not saying nothing about the people who are taking it too far and losing control of themselves.
Is the creep. I don't understand how I'm not saying this.
Because even
so this is what we are interpreting what you're saying. Because she dressed like that, a creep is going to touch her.
No, I'm saying we understand that creeps think a certain way.
Okay. And so when that woman is dressed a certain way, you are saying that creeps are going to touch her.
No, I'm saying it's a possibility he could.
It's a creep. They're going to touch her regardless.
Okay, so this is a study. Most women who get attacked, they do not have on sexy wear. They're in just some pants and a shirt.
Yeah,
you making up stuff.
So Casey, do you think that catcalling women as they walk down the street, do you think that's creepy behavior?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so my girl has been catcalled multiple times walking to and from school from her car. So she's not dressed in any provocative type of way. She's just walking and she's still getting catcalled. So there is no, creeps are only going to operate in this type of environment where a woman is dressed as what they might perceive as a thought or whatever. If they find a woman to be attractive or whatever, they're going to do things that we would deem to be creepy because that's just what they condone. That's what they're around. That's what they find to be acceptable. So the point that everybody's trying to make it, I think, is that you're saying, oh, don't dress like this. It'll prevent the creeps or whatever. And the women are saying that they weren't. Cherry's example was there was nothing about the way she was dressed or anything like that. It was just there was a piece of shit that was in charge of her or that was above her, that had power or whatever, and they used that to take advantage of her. And other women will tell you the same thing. They weren't dressed a certain way. They were just walking down the street. It was a family member, a family friend. It was whatever. It had nothing to do with the way they're dressed. And these people still took advantage of them. So what you're saying is irrelevant, is kind of the whole point. What you're saying is irrelevant because the creeps aren't going to stop, or creeps aren't
Well,
going
just
to not
everything's
be creeps
irrelevant.
just be. Okay, dude.
I mean, because again, we're talking about things where like nothing's absolute. Am I wrong here? Like no matter what, it still be people who will do that shit.
Okay, hold on. So let me understand. So because nothing is absolute, you just want to talk to something else just because?
No, I mean, I thought I was talking about how we can all improve. You know,
Okay,
like
so if
that's
I'm
and that's
talking,
what I
okay, so
brought up
let me
from the beginning.
let me reframe it. If I'm talking about cars, you're gonna talk about motorcycles just because people drive motorcycles as well?
No, again, what I said from the beginning was if we talking about men are doing degenerate things, we can't just tell the men not to do degenerate
Okay,
things
so
and then
again,
allow the opposite
so you
thing to
just
happen.
saying the opposite just because.
What are you talking about?
Okay, so if I'm talking about people drive cars, you gonna come on and say people also drive motorcycles too?
No.
Okay, so why are you doing that with this kind of saying yes? Men in power, they abuse it because of fame, money, being a boss, and all these things. You saying you are just saying the opposite. So why are you saying the opposite? We having a conversation
Where
about
did I
cars.
once say the
Why are you
opposite? Where have I
mentioning?
said men in power positions don't abuse their authority? Please say it. Tell me. No, I'm saying y'all keep saying what we interpreting, and interpreting means well, you didn't just say take what I said,
Right.
and obviously y'all not because y'all keep saying, well, this is what we getting out of it.
Okay,
But
so
I'm saying something
for
very clearly, like
for
straightforwardly.
example, right? So when I'm using Smokey Robinson's situation, and I said this is an example of men abusing their power, you said that I'm saying Smokey did it, correct?
Yes.
There you go. Why are you saying that?
Because you're literally saying
what
he's
I'm
an
literally
example of a
saying,
man
hold
abusing his
on,
authority, which means
because
he
what
did
I'm
it, right?
literally saying is this is an example of how a man can abuse his power. Is that me saying that this is example that Smokey Robinson did it?
You literally just said this is an example of a man abusing his authority, correct?
Okay, so now we all in agreement that I said example. So does that mean I'm saying Smokey Robinson did it?
Yes, because if it's a man abusing his authority, he did it, right? That means he abused the authority. Therefore, he did it. How is this even a stopping point? If he's an example of the man abusing his authority, are you saying he didn't abuse his authority?
Again, okay, this is the comprehension. I said this is an example of a man abusing his power. This, not him. I didn't say Smokey Robinson is the example of all these rich, powerful men abusing his power. I did not say that.
I never said you did.
This situation shows the example of what women been saying all along, like with Harry Weinstein, right? He's another him. See the difference? This situation is example versus he is example of the situation. When I say he is an example of the situation, I'm specific saying that man, Harry Weinstein, he's an example of it. When I say this situation, that Smokey Robinson, this is an example how men abuse their power. There go the comprehension. Maybe that's where it was at. Do you understand that?
You couldn't make it make sense.
Wow.
Everybody else
no
can
matter how much
understand
you
it.
try to act like, oh, you don't have a level of comprehension, sir, my guy. You don't make sense.
Everybody else can understand it, but you.
All right, explain, please.
What? He just explained it. I'm not even trying to
explain it a little bit clearer, then, please.
I said it even earlier before Sharon said it. I said Sharon did not accuse Smokey Robinson. Nothing. We having a discussion.
No. Explain how you saying.
Listen.
Can you explain how you saying this is an example of a man abusing his authority?
This is an example of the situation.
No, that's not what he said. He didn't say that at all. He said this is an example of a man abusing his authority
in the situation.
Not this is a man.
You just said it, of a man, right? Of a man, not that man. Of a man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Who is the a man, sir?
Oh my goodness!
It's one specific man, is it not? Is this
No,
now?
it's
Is
not.
a
Hold on. So they go to comprehension again, right? So when I say a man, right, I'm being in general. That's not me being specific.
What
Because I was being
situation are you
specific.
talking
If I
about?
was being specific, I would have said the
This
specific
situation.
person. Okay, so when we say a woman wearing coochie cutters, what woman I'm talking about? Say her name.
Any woman. I don't know. Like,
Wow.
Mental gymnastics is freaking crazy to me.
I just
Like,
said
you
I
can't-
don't know. It's not no name. You didn't name nobody. But
Thank you.
exactly. So why is the whole show topic Smokey fucking Robinson?
Because that situation.
He's the specific situation.
Right. That
You know what I'm saying?
specific.
Y'all.
Okay, hold on. So this way you
If
can
I'm
understand.
slow, we fuck.
Yes, I'm trying to explain to your slow ass. That specific situation, Smokey Robinson is not the only one in that specific situation when a man of power abuses power. Bomb Cherry gave you an excuse of another man with the same type of situation. Bomb Cherry being a subordinate, meaning that the person was above her in rank. That's a subordinate, right? So she was subordinate to that man. He had influence and power. What did he do? He said, nobody's going to believe you over me. That is abuse of power. So that situation is very similar to this situation which Smokey Robinson is in. And men do this all the time. So again, this situation is an example of how men abuse power.
Yeah, unless he did it, is that an example? That's my point. Unless you're saying he did it, how is this an example? Because to say that this is an example is saying this is a man who did, which is exactly what you said. That's why I'm saying this is wild as fuck to me. But yeah, you said exactly that. This is an example of.
Slow down. You got to slow down because I just gave you again. Smokey Robinson situation. Bomb Cherry can put her situation, take Smokey out of it. She could put somebody that actually did it. The general, whatever he is, put him in place. He did this thing.
Yes.
He used his power and he abused it. Do you understand that?
Okay. Yes. And
So now you understand that. That means this situation.
You
right?
do understand for that person situation. You do understand for that person to have abused his authority with Bomb Cherry, he had to actually commit the act, correct?
And he did.
Okay, I'm not. No, Mom, listen, I'm not questioning.
And got on top of me, and he did what he did.
No, because I don't want to do that for real. I'm not questioning you. I'm not questioning you. No. Stop. I'm not questioning you. I'm talking about that's something that actually happened with you.
I need you to focus. Hold on, KT. Do you understand that? Do you understand this Smokey Robinson situation? Right? That's another man that is not related to Smokey Robinson at all did the situation. And so that's how we could say this is how men abuse power because another man have done it. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's what I said when I said this situation. So why are you fighting so hard to say that these things don't happen?
Because again, before you,
I asked you a very specific question. Why are you fighting?
I'm trying to get Bomb off of it. I was answering this. Again, that's something where it actually happened. For you to abuse the authority means that you actually had to do the action. So when you're saying he's an example of the abuse of authority.
So now that we are there, why are you talking about something other than what we are talking about? Why are you doing that?
What are you talking about? I'm on the same thing I started from, sir. You said that he's the man, he's the example of the abuse of authority. If he is, that means you're saying that he committed the act because he did the abuse. That's where the abuse comes in. You can't be an example of abuse of authority if you didn't abuse any authority, correct? All right, thank you. I digress. Fuck it. I really don't want to do this anymore because this is wild to me.
Welcome to the show, Bolo TV. This is crazy to me.
Yo.
Hey, Bolo.
Hey, Bomb Cherry. Hey, LA. Hey, what's going on, Reese?
Hey, Reese.
Okay, to go. What's going on?
Hey, not Maurice.
I think it's just comprehension and people are missing each other because everyone has a point that they're trying to make, so they're not trying to understand or hear each other. Right? I think the initial point that AR was making was, at the end of the day, someone's going to do what they're going to do regardless of how you're dressed or whatever the situation might be, right? However, we don't want to bring more attention to the situation. So I think that's the point that he was trying to make. I don't think it came over across the way he wanted, right? So in other words, if I'm looking for someone to rob, I can rob Sharon dressed modestly, or I can rob a cat that's wearing a Rolex and wearing all different types of chains. It just brings, I'm going to rob somebody, right? But because that dude brings more to the situation, he might be a better option, right? So I think that's the point that he was trying to make. And when it comes to what Sharon was saying pertaining to Smokey Robinson, he's just overall speaking in general saying that this is what men do when they have power. They abuse it. So, taking it off, Bomb Cherry. Would
Wait a
that be
minute. Wait a
accurate?
minute. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, Bomb Cherry.
I'm confused because is it not true that men like different things?
Absolutely.
Right? So if one man likes a woman who's dressed professionally, he get turned on at that. He don't get turned at the woman with the cat color shorts on.
Mm-hmm.
So he not gonna attack the woman with the cat color shorts on. He gonna attack this woman. You men seem to be confused. This is not about attraction when they do this. It's about power.
I agree with you. It's about power.
So it has nothing to do with what a woman is wearing. I was in my BDUs dressing like a man with boots on. That man is never, as far as I remember, he's never seen me dressed in my regular clothing. Okay? But he was stalking me. He was, like, I had people tell me, hey, I don't know what's going on, but he's following you everywhere. Right? So maybe, but I've never done anything, smiled at him in a nice way, gave him anything to hint that I was interested in him. This is not about how women dress.
Well, let me respond to that. Again, when we talk in general, right? What happened to you was wrong. And again, we know it's not about power. I mean, about sex. It's about power. That goes without saying. So I agree with you on that. So let's just put a pin in that for a second. What I am saying is, let's just take it off men and women for a minute. Let's take it off men and women. If I'm being robbed and Sharon has on a police uniform or something that resembles a police uniform, I'm going to run to Sharon for help. Now, if Sharon is not wearing something as a police uniform, I will run to anybody for help. But because I see something that looks similar to that, right? We're talking in general, right? We're talking in general. That's what I'm going to do. We have to come to the realization that vibration is a point. It just is, right? When we talk about men in relationships and they keep ending up with these 304s, the problem isn't the 304s. The problem is him, because all he seems to attract is 304s. So instead of these men doing the work on themselves to do better and be better and have character and integrity and, get a relationship with God, what they continue to do is continue to point the blame on the women. And the common denominator in those 5 relationships, for example, is him. So the point that I'm trying to make is we're speaking in general. We're not speaking specific, right? There are situations on what you're saying, which is 100% correct. I don't fight it at all. But what I am saying is if I'm going to Cuba, I'm not going with jewelry on. I'm going just, going to have a good time. Again, not putting the blame on anybody, because that guy is going to do what he's going to do regardless. What I'm saying is you just don't want to bring more attention on you that you would necessarily have, even though. That's just the point I'm making.
Yes, but your point is ridiculous, right? Because what can she? I understand the jewelry, right? Don't be flashy, don't wear jewelry. So what are you saying the woman should do? What? Don't wear makeup, don't look cute, don't smell good, like don't look her best. Like what are you saying?
What I'm saying is there's a way of dressing modestly, and then there's a way of dressing unmodestly.
But dressing don't.
Okay,
that's not.
No, jewelry doesn't mean anything either. It can be
No, if jewelry does mean something if I'm robbing you.
no. Listen to what I'm saying. The point that I'm making is
Your example, respectfully, your example is terrible because the example you're given is about getting a monetary value from something. You're robbing someone not because of the power that you want over people. You're robbing them because you want what they have, i.e., the jewelry they have. So if you're assaulting someone and it's not about, oh well, they have this or whatever, it's just about the power of being able to do it to someone. So if someone was robbed, for example, if I was like, you know what, I just want to stick someone up to show them that I can. It doesn't matter what they're wearing.
Here's the point. I'm robbing you of your power, brother.
Okay.
That's
So
what I'm robbing. Hold on, dog. Hold on. Let me respond.
Hold on. For what? I didn't get to finish.
Go ahead. You made
the example you gave with KT the GOAT wasn't, oh, they're robbing them for power. It was because the example you gave, you specifically mentioned jewelry. So it wasn't about power. You weren't robbing them because you wanted to take their power, their agent. You wanted to say, you know what, I'm going to take their jewelry because that's worth money. That's something I can wear and be flashy with. You were robbing them for something specific, and that specific thing was the jewelry you mentioned. Otherwise, you wouldn't have mentioned the jewelry. You would have just said you would rob someone for the power.
AR,
so these examples.
AR, I'm robbing you of something. Whether it's power, whether it's jewelry, whether it's clothes, whether it's sneakers.
Do you want a monologue, or you want me to get my shit off?
Brother, not dogs. You ain't letting me respond.
You respond for what? I ain't finished talking.
Go ahead, dogs. Floor is yours.
Are you sure? Because I can let you monologue.
Nah, go ahead, brother.
Okay, all right. So the point that we're trying to make is, you gave an example of someone being robbed. You had the choice between robbing someone that doesn't have jewelry on and robbing someone that has jewelry on. You go with the one that has jewelry on because it's worth money. It's worth all these other things. We're talking about people assaulting other people, not because of what they wear. What they wear is irrelevant if we're going to talk about power. Whether if someone is dressed like a nun or someone is dressed in just a bikini or in a thong, then it doesn't matter, because if you want to assault them, it's power regardless. You might get off more by assaulting the nun because, oh, it's a nun, she's supposed to be a virgin, blah, blah, blah. So I'm taking more power from her. So if we're going to go that route, again, it would be up to Cherry's point. There's different people are good turned on by different things. So it doesn't matter what you're wearing, because a creep is a creep. Someone that wants to rob someone of their power is going to rob them of their power regardless of what they're wearing. Okay. The jewelry example, though, is completely different.
Cool. Can I speak now? If I'm going to rob you, I'm going to rob anyway. The point of the matter is, the reason why I picked you is because of what you were wearing. Period. That's the way I'm going to rob Sharon, or I'm going to rob you who has all the jewelry on, regardless of the fact someone is getting stuck today, regardless of the fact. So regardless of whether the woman that's dressed promiscuously or the woman that's not dressed promiscuously, someone is getting essayed or someone is getting attacked. Okay?
Which is the point.
Go ahead, brother. You want the floor again?
No, that's what we're doing. That's what we're doing, right?
You're doing what exactly you wanted me not to do to you. What I'm saying to you is, again, we're talking about bringing attention to a person. That's the point of it. And that's the point that my man was trying to make, right? At the end of the day, I should be able to jog at 3 o'clock in the morning. This is supposed to be a free country, right? But if I go jogging through Prospect Park, and my man Sharon is familiar with Brooklyn because we're both from Brooklyn. If I go jogging through Prospect Park at 3 o'clock in the morning, chances are, will I get robbed, Sharon, or not?
Well, not anymore. When we was growing up, yes.
On the other side, not on the other side. I'm talking about the Flatbush side. The Flatbush side, chances are you might get robbed. Okay. So at the end of the day, I know what I should be able to do. I know what I can do, but should I do it? That's the point of it.
Yes, so it's my question. So
and the clothing has nothing to do with that.
And both y'all will be. Let me just walk somebody into the show. Good day, Sean M. and PhD Diva. How are y'all doing today?
Peace. There
you go.
Good day.
So I believe Bomb wanted to say something. AR wanted to say something. If Bola want to respond to them, let Bola respond, and then we're gonna get Sean M. and PhD Diva in there. Bomb, you good? You on mute, baby. Okay, so we're gonna go with AR. Go ahead, AR.
Okay. Last thing you said something about putting yourself in this situation. Yeah. So the environment is the environment. The point that everybody is making, or at least kind of the side that I'm on, is that it doesn't matter what someone is wearing. It's so you're saying, oh, they shouldn't wear something because it attracts something. No, it has nothing to do with what they're wearing. Which you admit yourself. If someone wants to take power, it doesn't matter whether they're wearing this or whether they're wearing that. They're going to try to take the power. If all they care about is power, it doesn't matter what jewelry someone has on. They're going to just find someone and take the power from them. So you admit that it's not about what they're wearing, which is what you then flip and try to say, like, oh, well, if you're wearing something, you're more likely to blah, blah, blah. I've never heard a woman talk about how they were assaulted and it was because of what they're wearing. Every single time I've heard a woman talk about when they were assaulted, it had nothing to do with what they're wearing. It was a position of power, or they were taking it, or dudes was feeding them drinks for the express intent of taking advantage of them when they're drunk and whatnot. So it's never, oh, I was dressed in a bikini and some dude saw me and he saw these other women that were dressed in school clothing and said, you know what, I'm going to take advantage of her because she's dressed in a bikini. No, it's not about that. So I really don't understand the point that you're making, and maybe I'm just a little too slow to. I'm not sure. But yeah, the clothing thing has nothing to do with it, and I've never heard a woman say that it was because of the clothes she was wearing, or thought that it was because of the clothes she was wearing. It seems to only be dudes that defend the point, oh, it's because of what she was wearing. And then you flipped it and started talking about the environment. Yeah, if you're in an environment around predators, you're more likely to be assaulted. If you're around an environment where people rob you, then you're more likely to be robbed. Yeah, I don't think anybody was talking about the environment. They were talking about what they were wearing. And it doesn't matter whether you were jogging at 3 a.m. with clothes on or clothes off. If someone wants to rob you, they're going to rob you.
Right. So I just wanted to say, what do y'all have to say when a man take that power from another man? Because believe it or not, it happens a lot. Right? Is he dressing a little too sexy? Is his skirt a little too short? Like, what do y'all got to say about that? Well, it's not funny because I'm in a hospital, VA hospital. When I'm in those meetings, there's just as many men in the meeting where he got attacked while in the military as many as women.
What? Okay, here's the point. There's different dynamics for so many different things. So we can't compare apples to oranges and then try to make the comparison and say they're the same, right? So if we're going to talk about men essaying women, then that's what we're going to talk about, men essaying women. If men essay men, then that's a different topic. So we can't make these arbitrary examples and try to conflate and bring them together when they don't fit.
Is the man dressing sexy?
Say it again?
When we were talking about men attacking women, and they said they saw how she dressed. So I'm asking, what is the reason why they attack men?
It's about power. It could be the way he dressed. It could be flashy. It could be. It could be any of those things. It could be environment. We have to understand that there are so many different variables to these things. Again, not justifying the man doing it. He's totally off. So if Smokey Robinson him being in a place of power did take advantage of it, then absolutely he should get what he gets. That goes for if a woman is in a place of power and she takes advantage of a man. At the end of the day, that doesn't justify you doing what you did at all. Doesn't justify. But I think we're taking it outside of the job place, and now we're putting it in the real world outside of the job, right? Because the job is more of a confined place where there's rules and regulations pertaining to the business and how he is supposed to administer power because that's his position. But in the street, I'm nothing to Bomb Cherry. You dig what I'm saying? I'm nothing to PhD. I'm nothing. So for me to administer power or to put some type of hand on them, that's where things go awry.
So I think the problem is that we see time and time again that men are abusing their power on both. It's not even just on one gender, and they continuously do it. And so it shows that it don't have nothing to do with what the person is wearing. It's really all about the entitlement of power. How are you going to say no to me? I'm in a position of power. I control your money. I control status. I control this, that, that. They feel like they entitlement of status over you overrides your consent, and that's the problem that we see happen time and time again. And just because it's just coming out now with Smokey Robinson doesn't mean that wasn't happening before. Same thing with Shannon Sharp. We want to find out there's 10 other cases where he just tried to sweep him under the rug, but he got to a position of such height that now you can't sweep it under the rug no more.
Sharon, I got a dip set. I'm sorry, guys. I'll be right back.
No problem. Go ahead, Sean M, and then we got PhD. But go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with I think KT and Bolo both agree with what everybody's saying. I think when AR said only men are bringing up this point, I think it's just from a protective nature of when he includes the environment and how sex is so evasive, so in your face from the phones, from TV screens, from what you see on social media, from everywhere, even in school, from songs. What I'm saying is, men are saying it because the only point I think they're making is, as a protector, that's what we'll do. But everything else, I agree with y'all saying. I think that's one point KT was trying to make and Bowler was.
Yeah, you got AR was by a fan or something like that. Go ahead, you good. Okay.
That wasn't me. I think his mic was breaking up.
Nah, that's you.
Oh,
Yeah.
you guys can hear it in the background?
Yeah, we can hear the
Yeah.
fan something. What some kind of air blowing. Go ahead, PhD, but what's your thoughts if you able to talk? Go ahead.
Good day, everyone. So are we talking about
Hey,
Smokey
Steve.
Robinson? Hey, Mom, you all right, Mom?
I'm in the hospital. I'll be okay though.
Okay. So okay, so what I think I heard the person read that I was watching, I think they were reading from whatever the complaint was filed. So this is the lady who say she showed up for work. He had her, lay down, face down on the towel and assaulted her from the back. And he did that 20 different times to her. Is this the lady we're talking about?
Well, I didn't read it. I didn't read the
Oh,
case. I
okay.
know what I do know is 4 women came
Yeah.
forward as a recent and said that he did some things to her. But I was more using the case as as a catalyst to a conversation and how men are power when they abuse it.
Okay. So I heard, Bolo. I came in here ready to throw bowls for Bolo and be like, "Hey, all right, don't say that to him." But yeah, Bolo was on some bullshit. So with regard to the argument that how a woman should dress, in a way that I guess protects her. So the gentleman before me, I think his name was Sean, said that that's just men's protective nature, but the protective nature should be to deal with the issue so it doesn't happen, right? Because then what do you tell women in very conservative cultures, like India and some parts of the Middle East? So those women are dressed very modestly, but they have a very high rate of assault. And so then, as protective men in that society, then what do you tell the women?
We live in a different society.
Yeah, I
No,
was
but I'm
about to
just
say.
I'm trying to follow your
No,
logic to its
no, my
logical
logic was
conclusion.
the only point is I see both sides. The only point
Right. So I'm asking you to explain that side, right?
I'm saying because of how sex is everywhere, young children are
Right.
having sex, STDs are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When I'm saying to you and everybody dressed in a certain way,
Mm-hmm.
it's like the wild wild west out here. But this is really the wilderness that we're living in. So I think people talking about how things are, which how we want things to be instead of how things are, and we all agree how
Right.
we want it to be. And I don't think Bolo or KT disagree with any of you guys on how things should be and people take accountability for. Sharon, I have nothing wrong with what you said, bro. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just saying they just adding on. I would never have my daughter dress any type of way because I know that what that attracts.
Right.
Dave,
And so
so,
I'm just
and
asking you
that
to
that doesn't
extend
and that
that
and doesn't
logic.
give that doesn't give
We're not
no
okay,
that
but we're
doesn't give
dealing with
grant
the
that
point
doesn't
that you
grant or anybody
made.
from that way. This is what I'm saying to you.
Okay, we're
And
all
I
agreeing that it doesn't whatever, but you said men's protective nature is what leads
so
y'all to tell women to dress in,
yes,
modestly
because
in
we
order
know
to try to
because we are
protect.
men.
Sir,
Yes, man, because
sir,
we
please just
and we
let me
know the
speak.
ugly of ourselves.
Oh my
That's
God.
what I'm saying to you. So
Sir.
it's low
Hey,
hanging
his
fruit.
mic's about to cut out anyway. You can just give him about 2 more seconds.
Yeah, but I just don't even understand how, if we're gonna have a conversation, you can't have a conversation if you always talking after the person say 2 or 3 words. all of you trying to, hedge and all that other stuff. It's unnecessary. We all are in agreement on, it don't make it right. Now we're dealing with what you said that Bolo and somebody else added on, and that you also agree with, right? That in addition to, okay, there's no excuse for it, but women, our protective nature leads us to tell you to dress modestly in order to somewhat protect yourself from that, right? And so now I'm taking your advice and I'm applying it to a society where the women are doing just that. And I'm saying it doesn't stop the men from doing the same exact thing, probably even more, right? They have very high rates of this in those types of countries. And so then what, as a protective man, what does your nature lead you to tell those women?
I'm not in that culture, so I won't be able to tell them women anything.
Okay, so this okay. So
Can you hear
you
me
answered
first?
the
Or can you
question.
hear me? Sharon, can you hear me?
Yeah. So I wanna okay, so you answered that question. So let me readdress it.
No. What I'm saying is I'm saying in a nutshell is low hanging fruit to how things are. That's all I'm saying to you. I think that's the point they're trying to make. I'm not saying telling women how to dress or anything like that. That's all I'm saying to you.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that neither. So, but what I'm saying is this. So now, what if all the women was dressed modestly, and still we have the same issue going on?
You're still gonna have the same issue because the way I'm saying the environment is sexist everywhere.
Okay, well then that advice is stupid then, if you still gonna have the same issue, because that's not the issue. The issue is the men.
What you're saying, I agree with what you're saying. It doesn't matter then. I understand what you're saying. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying from the debate is
right, and so your protective nature as a man can only lead you to give women some advice that ultimately don't even matter. That's how good your protective nature as a man is.
You try to do as much prevention as you can.
How do you find it to be protective to not listen?
It doesn't prevent it at all.
If the women on the panel are saying one thing, and they're all saying essentially the same thing, how can you say it's our protective nature as men to not listen to the women and say, oh well, dress a different way? When the women are saying when women are saying the dressing has nothing to do with it, why is your protective nature, supposed to protective nature as a man, not saying, all right, maybe I should stop saying this. Maybe I should stop making this argument. Maybe I should stop putting forth this narrative when all the women are saying, no, that's not the case. Maybe I should take into what they're listening. Maybe I should take into account what they're saying and reframe the way I look at things.
And we should, but Diva also just
said you started off good there, KT, when you said we should, and then you started going off the deep end. It's not we should, but it's just we should.
Anywhere. But Diva also pointed out that most of the predators are men. Correct?
What?
Yes, that's why we said what we said.
You said most of the predators are men, right? The problem is men.
I didn't say that, but
that's why we say what we saying. This is what I'm saying. So I think this is what I'm saying to you. That's the only point we're trying to make.
Okay, that's why I'm standing on that, because regardless of what that woman is wearing.
I know who harms women. That's my whole point. I know who mostly harms women, which is our men. So what I'm saying to you is, as men, as good men, we trying to do as much as possible. That's all I'm saying.
And all I'm saying is you're not doing anything.
That's the only point. That's the only point I think they're trying to make.
So y'all aren't good men, because if y'all offering some useless advice, you're not good men.
Exactly.
No, useless because
it doesn't how are you going to tell women who go through this that it's not useless advice, as if they're not the ones that have to go through this? Like, what type of righteous bullshit are you on?
It's dudes doing it to them. We're saying we understand.
It doesn't. Are you a predator?
You probably have some dude in your family who did some wild shit, and you know how the shit go and how he acted and how he moved. He's a hypersexual, weird ass nigga type shit. So like that's what I'm saying. It doesn't make sense. It makes less sense to say.
Instead of telling women what to do, go with these men's ass. And maybe they'll stop.
Right.
Scared of the men.
I agree with that 100%. I agree with that 100%.
No, I agree. Yeah,
even what you're saying. All they can do is offer useless advice.
Sean, niggas they did some weird shit, but that ain't that. It's like what bro was just saying. That's not reality. Because I get up and beat a nigga ass don't mean everybody else about to do it, and that don't mean like I'm gonna stop beating niggas ass if they do some weird shit, and I know of it. However, that doesn't change that many people every day are allowing this shit to happen. But we just saying this not a That you saying it's crazy for us not to listen. I mean, we not saying we not listening. We saying like we
No,
even
you're just
understand that.
demonstrating. You're not saying it. You're just demonstrating
We
it.
know
Do
what
you
the
know- do you
predators
know-
do. We
do you
see
know
them
predator-
niggas.
Okay, so you know, are you a predator?
No, but I
Okay,
know
Sean,
people
all right,
done
okay,
wild
so
shit.
you're a predator, and they said they sexually assaulted women because of what they were wearing.
No, I've seen them do some crazy shit.
You
I ain't
said
gonna
that
lie.
you all right. So did you see them do it to
Yo.
women, and did you see them target those women because of what they were wearing?
Nah, I didn't even say. I just said
Okay,
he was
all
a
right.
weird hypersexual nigga
So
though.
okay, so
he did have a
so
vibe on
he was
him. He
hypersexual,
like
which
the
means that it
extra
doesn't matter
horny
what
nigga.
she was wearing. He was still gonna find a reason to want to do it. So Sean, are you a predator?
No,
Okay, do you know predators?
no.
Then how the hell can you sit here and say you know what the hell they're thinking about if you never talked to one and if you're not one yourself? If the women are telling you that they've interacted with these predators in a negative light at that, and all the studies, if you can pull up studies to defend your point, maybe you have a point. All the studies I've seen have been more so about power. So if you're not a predator and you don't know predators, then how can you tell women what predators think when they have dealt with these predators and they are telling you, no, it's not about what we were wearing. It's about something else.
It's low hanging fruit.
I mean,
That's all I'm saying to you. It's
Okay,
low hanging
all right.
fruit. Now I'm sorry that you don't even understand that, but it's low hanging fruit. At the end of the day,
What does that
this
mean?
is how
Explain what low
what I'm
hanging
saying
fruit
to you.
means.
I just said one thing, but let me finish. What I'm saying to you is not women like you guys, but I'm saying other women who dress that way, they always find them missing. Why? What attracts them to be found up missing and kidnapped and being sex trafficked? What attracts them to that? The same way that regular respectful women dress, they dress in the same way who get preyed on and get sexually attracted. What are they wearing? Why are they wearing the same uniform?
So
Okay, this
so
guy's
that's
a
what we
sicko.
that's what we was trying to
Yeah.
explain. This is
Nah,
what we
he
was trying
just
to
a
explain.
sicko. He a sicko.
I'll be a
He
sicko,
just
but why
told
they
us
wearing
he
the
a
same
sicko.
uniform? Why
Yeah,
they wearing the
he a
same
sicko.
uniform? Why they wearing the same uniform?
So
What kind of?
They're
We're
not.
not
They
gonna
What
let
I'm
don't
that
saying
slide,
to
dress.
you
are
is,
we?
No.
no, what I'm
They
That
saying to you,
don't
dumbass
no,
dress
what I'm
comment.
saying to you
traffic
is
little
the
girls.
women,
What are you
hold up.
talking about?
So
They
answer this
don't
question. The
all
women
wear a
that dress
certain
like that, the women
uniform.
that
Cut
dress
it
like that,
out.
they don't get kidnapped, they don't get abused and get sex trafficked. What
Women
I'm
that
asking.
dress in any type of way get
Women
kidnapped
do
and abused. You
right.
No, what I'm
fucking
saying to
Little
you,
idiot.
who's the
girls get.
majority?
yeah, but
Who's
we
the
talking about
majority?
most of
It's
the
a lot
time.
of
It's
Women
the
little
the women
girls.
that's
So are you
enforcer
What
saying
homes.
most
little
of the
girls are
time?
dressing
Show
What
like
about
it.
the
that?
women
Stop.
that's
Cut
enforcer
it out.
homes?
okay,
What
all
about the
right,
women that's enforcer
You
So
homes?
are a
we
sicko.
need one
What
mic.
about
We
the
need one mic.
what about the women in
Okay,
enforcer
okay.
homes?
So again,
Sicko.
Nobody
hold
care
on.
about them?
Okay. Everybody, hold on. So majority of people that's getting grabbed up is little girls in school bags that have regular clothes on. It is not.
I understand.
It is not.
No, it's
Tooth.
that's a vast. But I'm saying that's a portion. I'm disagreeing with you,
That's
Sharon. But
the
I'm saying,
bad.
but that's let it be a vast. But there's a percentage, whatever the number is. There's a percentage also of
You just said all of them.
forcing
We're
things
not
to
gonna let you.
listen.
We're not gonna let you. No. I'm tired of that
Okay, all
bullshit.
right.
You just
So
said
I'm
You just
gonna
said
break it
how come
down.
all the women that do this they all look the same? They all dress the same. You just said all the women.
Right. And so,
Fucking cowards, man.
You don't know who you're talking to because you need to relook at the stats. Half of the women that you speak to could have been a victim at one point in time in their life.
It's like these people have never interacted with women and talked to them in their life.
No, he a sicko.
Like, what kind of comment? Oh, why is it that all the women that dress like this, they're the ones that get kidnapped and assaulted and stuff? And it's like, bro, what are you talking about? And then runs away, man. Who are these people? These
That whole
cowards.
outfit. I knew that's what KT was referring to. The whole outfit.
Which is what?
Which we don't know what
Which
the
is,
hell it is.
he said he was emphasizing presentation is everything. He brought up coochie cutters and I'm just like, man, people wear usually clothes for functionality. And even back in the day in the club when we would be in club gear, you could still be you had to worry about niggas pinching your ass when you try to walk to the bathroom. Like, so it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit, I don't know. I knew he was talking about the look. It's almost like, and it does insinuate that, I mean, you should expect something to happen. And I'm just like, that's crazy.
Why should we expect anything to happen though? Because see, we the women start believing that shit too, right? And I know why we start believing it, because we have no choice. The men grabbing us. But we shouldn't. We shouldn't expect anything, right? These men, KT already admitted, if he know a woman, he could grab her ass. That's what he said.
No, I didn't. I said if I got that type of relationship with her.
What?
I said if I have that type of relationship with her.
Oh, no, you didn't say that.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
So
Come on
KT,
now,
when I
don't do
go
that to me.
home in a couple weeks for Goombay and I wear my booty shorts, I'm asking for something.
No, what the fuck?
Girl, you
I don't
asking
know
for
you.
something, girl.
You
I don't
brought
know
up
you. Now,
the
if I've been busting you down type shit for a minute in a grip and we got a relationship on and off, yeah, nah.
What are
When I
you
see you, I
talking
might
about?
come through.
You made a
Smack you.
general statement earlier about women
No,
dressing
I
in a
did not.
particular way.
What she talking about? I literally said that. That's what I'm saying. You wasn't paying attention, I guess, Steve. But I literally said if when she talking about me smacking ass, I said if I got a relationship
No,
with a
not
female.
that. Before what you were talking about how women dress. I'm not talking about you smacking ass. You made a general statement about how women should dress in order to prevent as much as possible, because men are going to take it anyway, regardless. If you wearing a burlap sack, they're gonna do it.
Yeah,
But
some niggas will.
women need to dress modestly.
don't laugh.
That's what you said.
Mhm.
Right. And so I was talking about when I go home
Well,
in a
I ain't even
couple
say
weeks to
modestly, but I said
Miami.
coochie cutters is crazy.
Right. And I'm gonna be wearing some because it's gonna be hot out there and it's the Goombay.
Girl, I'm about to get out this hospital and put on some coochie cutters, girl. Damn.
Hey, do your thug. I ain't mad at you.
Yeah, but y'all are sickos when y'all think like that. That's what y'all be revealing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy that y'all would come up here and tell everybody I'm a sicko, but not in those words.
I didn't. You'll never get that out of me. But I mean, I'm not. Again, it's as the man said. I can act like what I like. I want things to be better. I also understand. That's why we saying.
Okay, we heard what you're saying. KT to go. So this is why Diva asked about the question about the women that's in other countries that's dressed like how y'all say is protection for
It says
them.
he said we can't say nothing to that culture. It's like I don't even know how we could. That's like not
that's fine. Let's not talk about that culture then, because that happens here too.
It's just that
it happens in the U.S.
I
We
can't
don't have
sit
to
there
talk
and go
about
over there
India.
and tell a bunch of French people how to do shit. I
So
can't even
it's
speak
an
French.
exercise in logic, right? It's just to
the
apply
mental-
your logic to a different scenario and see if it still holds. That's the purpose of it. It's not a literal thing where you're gonna go and say, y'all
No, I
need to
know
do this.
it wouldn't. No, it
You aren't
wouldn't
even
hold
over there,
because the
but it's a
society is
logic
different.
exercise.
Okay, so what's the difference of a society? You saying that it's okay? So you saying that the more
I mean,
hold
India
on,
and all that,
hold
you know
on,
how
you
they
talking
is.
before I even finish saying something. I said 3 words.
I mean, you're gonna say explain what's the difference in what they doing, their society.
Okay, that's fine. We don't have to talk about India. Let's just talk about the U.S. because it happens just in the U.S. just like it happens in the U.S. just like it happens in India.
That's not what I was going to say.
But he wants to sidestep your guys' question and the logic and just say, oh, it's a different society. Well, then we'll just keep it in the same society and still answer the question.
Why, when a woman dress modest, she still get touched? An essay.
Because it's creeps. It's just regardless creep ass nigga.
Okay, so why are you mentioning anything about how a woman dress if it doesn't matter how she dresses?
Yeah, no. Because nothing's absolute, is it? I'm just really trying to figure that out. Like no matter what we do, murder will always exist. It doesn't matter how people are. It's just gonna be some people who have that maybe something off in their mental. You know what I'm saying? Like it's nothing we're gonna do that's gonna just make everything go away. So if now what we're trying to change it to is if it doesn't get rid of it completely, well, we just shouldn't talk about it.
I need you to have a conversation with what I'm talking to. I don't know what is the issue. Shout out to the cat that says coffee. AR said we not going to let you talk. God damn. And also one more. Hold on. And also we got I'm always going to support regardless. New York for life. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you. I really appreciate it. And so what I'm trying to present to you so you can understand. If the woman is wearing coochie cutters or she wearing modest clothes, she still is going to get touched. So therefore, if that is the case, we should be focusing on the men and their degenerate behavior and not the woman and how she dress. KT to go.
Okay.
Do you understand my position?
Yeah, I understand it very much.
Okay, so now maybe moving forward, you would never say again that, hey, baby girl, you should not be wearing those clothes.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Because of a man. You should be more concerned about men you should be talking to your homies. It's like, hey, stop looking at every ass walking down the street because guess what? My daughter's going to be walking down the street.
I've done that a lot. You know that people don't always do something because you tell them to, right? I mean, so I'm going down multiple avenues because it's not just, I know nothing, especially when we're talking about life things, right? It's not as simple as just do whatever you want because shit gonna happen with it anyway. And I guess maybe that's why we're in the position we are when we're currently talking about whether or not we're in better or worse state than old people in this, that, and the third, and what are our morals, because this is the position, no offense, it seems that y'all be taking a lot. Like where it's like, shit, do whatever because shit gonna happen anyway. But
Man,
y'all, again, if we having this but when these conversations about men, that's not applied, is it? It's not do it anyway. Everything is men, take responsibility, this, that, and the third. And I'm not saying we should not do that. I'm saying we're talking about people here, black people here, and we got to do it together. It can't work if we just telling one group, y'all man up, and not saying they got to man up.
So now, what is the woman doing? Please explain to me that is making her get sexually attacked.
I never said shit. It deserves to get sexually attacked. Can we go through?
Hold on.
Don't
see,
ever say this again.
Hold on again. You're missing my question because you answering before you listen. What is the woman doing for her to get sexually attacked? Because you said put the blame on both of them. What is she doing to get attacked?
I'm gonna say this one last time. It is no justification for anyone to get sexually attacked.
Hold on. We understand that. I'm actually, you said we got to put it on both parties.
I'm saying you can do things to prevent it, to help it, to lower your chances.
Okay, you said just now, did you not say it's on both parties?
No, I'm saying in terms of us all taking parts in places and things. Yes, we have things we can both take responsibility.
When you say all, is that men and women?
Yes.
Okay, so what is the woman's part of it?
No part. It may not be no part. That's what I'm saying. You're trying to make me give you an absolute answer. You're not even being very specific. I don't really get it because you're saying what are you asking? Like
what I'm asking you. Okay, what I'm asking you. I'm trying to get some clarification. You said we gotta put men and women accountable for this situation, correct? Is that correct? You're saying woman plays a part of the sexual assaulting, correct?
I'm gonna need you to repeat it. I apologize.
Yes. Men and women both play a part in getting sexually assaulted. Is that a yes or no?
No. Sometimes, maybe, nah. No.
Where is Brownsville? I miss him. Tell him I said hello. And this
because that was that's what I'm saying. Okay, it's different. It's different ways that assault happen. I'm saying it's not like it's just one way and assault happen.
It's different ways that assault happen. You said you want us to be fair and hold men accountable and women accountable, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so now that we gotta hold the men and the women accountable, what part is the woman playing so we can hold her accountable?
I'm saying if you would carry yourself in a better light, it can help your change. I know y'all gonna say no, that ain't true, but I still feel that. I did look up the stat while y'all was that when I was quiet earlier. It did say 90% of all people that are doing were a part of SEX trafficking. 90% of them have been found to have street workers, like they've been some type of escorting or something of that nature. So, I mean, a lot of these women, and even if we talking about, I said something earlier, like, the street, a woman's a streetwalker because how she's presented. Like and if it's women out here dressed the same as that, I think we need to say like, just like we say to men, hey, don't do that type shit. We should be able to say that women to themselves should be able to say, girl.
All right. So just to be clear, the only thing women's involvement in getting themselves sexually assaulted is by the way how they dress.
You said the only way what?
The thing that a woman could be held accountable for getting herself sexually assaulted is by the way how she dressed.
Somewhat. I'm not saying that's the singular thing. It's because it's not a singular
So are
thing.
you
Like
saying?
I even agree with the power part, right?
JT to go. You are a man, and you need to have a position on something. If not,
Yeah,
then
no,
you'll
I
fall
got a
for anything.
position. My position just isn't as small as yours, right? I don't have to sit there and say I can only do this one thing because it's not. This is why I talk about with nuance on some things. This is one of those things of nuance. It's not just sitting there saying.
So what is the nuance of a man overstepping his boundary and assaulting somebody? What is the nuance in that? What is her position that is making him do it? What is her accountability? Please explain. What is
no nuance?
I need you to understand what you're saying.
There is no nuance.
What is her accountability for being sexually assaulted? What is her accountability? What is the problem?
Yeah, when I'm talking prevention, I'm not talking about because once the assault happens, I'm not saying you're the blame. I'm not sitting there saying that. I'm saying it is things you could do to prevent that even happening, or possibly that can make that worse. Like you said, or even I said, fuck, like you said, I said, I agree. It's nothing we're going to do to stop it. It's still going to be weird.
I'm sorry, I got to mute you. I have to. Because not saying anything is saying a lot. And I do not understand.
Yo, what you dropped me down for?
I didn't do it.
Hey, Reese, those plants in the back look really pretty. Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Because I'm never mind. Hey, Nate. Yeah, I'm it's frustrating. Hey, Nate, I miss you, girl. How you doing?
Hey, how you doing? I hope you feel better because I saw how frustrated you was yesterday.
Thank you.
This is a conversation that's kind of crazy to me, and I don't even understand why the men are trying to defend, oh, she needs to have better clothes on when men promote whole culture. A lot of men invent the very things that women put on. So the things that y'all invented, because y'all say y'all invented everything, is what causes her to get SA'd. That's what you're saying? Because in the dynamic, most of the time, those men who sit up in SA those women, it's about a power structure. It has nothing to do with what she has on. So if we put our clothes on, is it going to stop y'all from touching us inappropriately? That's the question. Because
I've said from the beginning, nothing's absolute. No, nothing. It's nothing. But if that's the case, again, it's no solution. Y'all gonna offer, any of us gonna offer that's gonna make something stop.
I mean, the solution is stop the men from doing it, get the men out of that mindset that it's okay to.
No, I don't think this is where that's what I'm saying. Are y'all really gonna sit up here and act like most men think that's okay?
Yes.
I mean, the mere fact that you're sitting there mentioning about clothing, you think it's okay.
Because most men, not even a small percentage of men, like, not being funny, and I'm not trying to minimalize the situation, but we know, like, right, like, it's not like that's like, you know what I'm saying? That's not like I'm not saying this is how
we could tell you right now how we could easily solve this, that most men do it. Have you ever been in a club, touched a random girl's ass in a club?
When I'm dancing on it, yeah. Like, when she dancing,
no.
Fuck it.
Listen to, okay, that's fine.
No, I've never just walked up to some girl and
I'm not talking about dancing behind her. Have you ever grabbed a girl's ass walking by in the club?
No.
Have you seen any of your friends do it?
Yeah.
There you go.
Your friends are those men, honey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
y'all said y'all.
I agree. So I know the predator niggas y'all talking about, right?
You just said that it wasn't.
So I'm saying I think I would know would prevent a motherfucker from.
Right, but right before Sharon said that, you were saying it's not a lot of men who think like that.
No, when we talking about some
okay,
SA
so you
and stuff.
But baby, that is SA.
That's SA, baby. That's SA. Touching a woman inappropriately without her permission is SA. Whether she's dancing in the United States, that's what it is. It is what it is. You can't stop what it is.
And this is once we start getting men to understand that, and then maybe men can start changing their mentality. And this is the issue that me and AR is trying to explain to you. Is that we keep acting like this is a natural thing for men to SA women. Remember, me and AR could clearly say, hey, bro, this is disgusting. Stop catcalling, stop grabbing people's asses, stop doing it. Stop using your power as a man, the entitlement as a man that you are over a woman.
Yeah, that's just not true. Even with me saying I got friends who did it, that don't mean every time we went to the club they did it. Like that, I'm saying this. That's not something
You don't
every
stop
man does.
defending,
I
try
wouldn't
to
agree with
defend the
saying. I mean,
man.
I wouldn't disagree with saying that is SA. You're right. Something you didn't permit that was unwanted, so that will be considered SA. But again, my point is, most niggas don't even have the courage to just walk up to the thick bitch and smack her on the ass. Like, are y'all being serious for real? Like, seriously.
That's his problem.
ain't
That has
about
nothing to
that.
do about what the fuck she got on. You could
No, I'm
if you're
saying
afraid
most
to
men don't
approach that
have.
woman,
No,
that's
we
on
was
you.
talking about
That's your
whether or not
confidence
most
level.
men think this is okay, and I'm just saying I don't think most men is thinking. And the proof would be most men don't go up to women and just smack them on their ass.
But that's not what they have to do, right? So if you're passing by and somebody grab your ass or rub on your ass as you passing by, a lot of times when you look back to see who it is, they all looking straight ahead like they ain't doing nothing, right? So you don't know if it was him or the nigga next to him, or maybe the nigga from behind him reached his hand through. Please don't sit up here and tell women that a lot of men don't do that. All you niggas do that. I was in a fucking
No.
hospital a couple weeks ago and an old ass man just tried to touch me. So stop it. Everybody knows, especially black men, y'all are slaves to your lust, and y'all don't know how to act regardless. And so especially when you feeling lustful, you acting like a damn animal. Stop it.
I know it's crazy that we was here earlier talking about entitlement, and now we're really acting like all women in the world just constantly getting abused and touched by niggas, and just every nigga doing it. Like that
A lot of
sounds
I
them
mean, a
are.
crazy.
lot of
Like
Yes.
men
niggas
in the
can't
You know a
resist
world.
lot
me.
of them who doing it too.
I mean,
Yes,
a
you
Yes.
know
lot
it.
of them are doing it, baby.
This
A
is
lot of them
nasty
are
work,
doing
y'all,
it.
but fuck it. It is what it is.
Oh
No.
You
God.
just told us all your friends do it.
Yes.
But you surrounded by niggas who do it,
No,
but you
I've
ain't never
seen them
do it
do it before.
somehow.
My friends are 20
Right,
plus years. I think, yeah, in
right,
20 plus years, you might see a lot of
Yeah, and they
people do a
been
lot of
probably
things.
essaying the
But
right.
wrong
seeing
And
people
so they
somebody
all
sometimes.
smack
doing it.
somebody
Yeah.
on the ass 4 times in 20 years, I don't think that's a continuous thing.
Okay,
Yes,
so
it is.
here's a part that you're missing, KT. You are one person, you've seen 4 friends do it. And your 4 friends, each one of them got 4 friends that they seen do it. And the shit will keep going down the line. So then when you keep going down that line, you will realize that guess what? Majority of women get SA. The problem is that majority of you men, y'all believe SA means grape. And so y'all look at just a slap on the butt. Oh, that's just that ain't nothing. And we need to change men mentality. They need to recalibrate and understand. No, touching a woman without her consent is SA, especially her private parts. And once we get men to start understanding that, maybe less women would get SA. It ain't just about the physical taking of it. We got to get men to recalibrate their goddamn thinking. Stop excusing it. Be a fucking man and say, bro, you nasty. And but because you know what he's going to say, bro, we all do it. What you mean? But guess what? You don't want your daughter to experience it, but your daughter's going to experience it because you don't want to be man enough to say, hey, stop touching people that don't know you. She don't have no relationship with you. She's in a club. Just because she's in a club with a short skirt dancing doesn't mean she want her ass touched. Because she want to listen to some loud music with people there.
I'll be honest with you. If it's up to me, I'll be teaching my daughter not to be at clubs.
That's
So we
fine.
just
But so
avoid men.
the problem is that you are missing the point. We don't give a fuck about what you're
Did he
teaching
just
that.
say that? Did he just say, I'll teach my daughter not to go to clubs? You telling her she can't have a social life either?
So
He's
So
saying
you
that
telling your
the
daughter
only
to
we
bit
be
of
need to
social
avoid
life
them.
y'all
a
know is at the
motherfucking
club.
hermit?
The only
You teaching her to be in
socialization
a
y'all know
side.
is at the club.
So you
No,
teach
you
your
can
daughter,
go
your
to
daughter
life.
Okay,
inside
so that's
all
what I'm
that.
saying. Don't say because I'm saying let's not go to club, because that's what I'm saying. Now I find it
But-
funny when we have these conversations as adults. We now throw out understanding of how things work. When you go to a club, you know what type of niggas in there. Dirty bum
What
niggas
type of
looking for some
niggas?
What
pussy.
type of niggas in there?
Okay. So avoid men who have ever gone to a club. We putting that on the list, ladies. The 10-point list. Now we got point 11. If he ever been to a nightclub, stay away from his ass
No, if
because he's
he's
a
a
predator.
consistent
No,
there,
no.
or
If
No,
he's
anyone
you
who's
ever
said
been
consistent
you
in the
to a
said
club,
don't be
stay away from
nightclub,
them
then
motherfuckers.
stay away from him because he's a predator.
I'm like, and what does a
Predator
club
was
have to
crazy.
do?
I ain't even made the predator. I'm just saying stay away from them type
That's
of
why
niggas, period.
you
It's
just
not because they're
said that those
predators.
the
They're
type
just
of
not
niggas
very
that
good
assault
men you gonna
women.
find
You literally just
consistently
said
in the
those was
club.
the type of niggas that assault women, right? So they are predators.
No.
So are you
Oh,
teaching your
okay. So
baby
you
to
can
be
assault a
Okay,
inside
so
all
woman and
day?
not be a
let's run
predator.
down your logic, KT. We don't go by your logic. Men that go to the clubs are people that just
Consistently.
hold on. I wanna coddle it for you because I gotta learn how to coddle a little better. So men that go to the club consistently,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Oh, in the club every weekend, you know those type of people.
Nobody
we
goes
all-
to the club every weekend, but it is what it is.
I know many.
Okay, so that means you know many of predators.
I don't know how you came to this conclusion. Like,
Because
You just said the ones that go to the
You just
club all
said
the
you
time are
don't-
predators.
let me
No,
run
I
down.
didn't.
Let
I
me
just
run down
said
his
those are
logic.
not
Let me,
good men.
let
I'm
me
not
please-
going to sit there and
let
tell
me
my
run
daughter
down
to
his
go to a
logic. Let me run
club.
down your logic. Hold on. Men that go to the club consistently are predators, correct?
No, I did not. Where did I say this?
So
Said it
okay,
2
so a
seconds
man.
ago.
Okay, so
Like, can
let's
somebody repeat the
okay.
sentence that I said?
Okay.
But and that's
You-
all I'll be asking, and
okay,
y'all
so
never
let
do.
me explain it. A man that is groping a woman without her permission is a predator, correct?
Mm.
Yes or no?
Somebody, I guess that go back to consistency shit.
So you can
Like,
grope
to
a
say,
woman one
like,
time. How many times can you grope a woman and not be a predator?
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay,
That's
hold on.
That's a good question.
Hold on. So I just want to be clear.
You're an idiot, KT.
A man that
No, that I'm
hold
honest.
on,
And I know that hurts your feelings, dear. It's okay.
hold on. I need
No, it
you
should
to
hurt your mama's
I
feelings.
need you to be
Hey,
able
see,
to
PhD, I
stand.
see why y'all
Hold
call
on,
him a
y'all.
moron.
I want you
He
to
is a
stand on.
moron.
I want you to stand on something. A man that gropes a woman without her permission, is that a predator? Yes or no?
Mm.
Cricket.
He done
I
it.
really
It's a-
can't.
hold on.
I've already said it. I
Be
just can't.
patient. Is a man groping
I
a
cannot.
woman without her permission, is that considered a predator?
I can't. No.
Okay, so
No.
a man that was touch your daughter when she's old enough, she's grown, she's grown. If a man was to grope your grown daughter, you wouldn't consider that man a predator.
You said if a man groped my grown daughter, he's a predator?
Would you consider that man a predator?
No.
No.
Well, can you? Okay, so he did it twice. You know, the first time, oh, he misread the situation. She said, "Don't do that." He did it again. What is he?
Now you getting on some predator shit.
He's getting okay. Is he a predator when he does it 2 times? The second time after she said, "What the fuck are you doing?"
1 second. Could you repeat that? I apologize.
You said he's getting towards being a predator. Is he a predator that after the second time he did it when she told
I'm about
him?
to say no. The second time you probably the predator. Like now I'm feeling you on some predator shit.
Okay, so if he groped her, she was like, "Hey, don't fucking do that." He went to another woman, did the exact same thing. Is he a predator?
Nah, he a predator.
Okay,
So the question, for the question, Diva, to the second time is where the predator comes in, which I'm sympathetic to it because clubs, drunk, and all that stuff. I'm kind of sympathetic to it. But you being funny, KC, but you could have said that and you don't. You just try to leave it in the ether, like you just don't answer the question. It's very simple. Some people would consider you touch a woman at all without her permission, you're a predator.
Yeah.
Others might have the argument in a club, people are drunk, and situations can be misread.
because listen,
You didn't have to give a straight answer. You could have explained yourself, and you didn't. And then I had
No,
to guide
when
you to
you
hold
sit
your
here
hand
and
to
ask
it.
me, AR, when you sit here and ask me, did I not start answering everything? When he just said it's got to be a yes or no, even before he said that, I said, I don't know if I agree with that. Because as I said, I can't say my mans and them predators not being funny because they done
They
smacked
are.
4 asses in 20 years. I
Them
don't think that
motherfuckers
makes you
are
a predator.
predators. If a man, I do not know, just because I'm in a club, think he could grab me by my JJ, he is a predator. What else is he doing? My friend? What he trying to be my husband? What is he trying to do?
Right.
He trying to fuck some?
Yeah, but I didn't give him permission to try to fuck something.
No, and I agree. Maybe my man misread the signals. I don't really know because that's what I'm saying. I've never been. That's why I ain't never really do nothing like that. Me personally, I'm not gonna do nothing unless I know where we at type shit. But maybe that man misread the situation. I don't know. That's why I said one time. All right.
Hey, look,
KT is a predator.
KT.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm through with this.
KT.
I am through.
Hold on,
if we talking about, if we being honest here, I done had more women probably your age than ever mine. So don't tell me about KT being no predator.
KT. Jesus Christ.
And you
Men
still
like
a predator.
Men,
What
men
the
that,
fuck?
men like,
moron.
hold on.
Sorry.
Men like you, KT, is a fucking problem because you cannot stay on a strong thought pattern whatsoever. 1 second, men that go to the club consistently are predators. You said men that go there.
I didn't say men going there. I said they're bad dudes. Like, that's not a good dude. You're not gonna find no
Why
good
the
niggas in the
fuck
club.
I cannot finish a fucking thought. You say these words.
No, I didn't.
We asked you. And then you changed it on purpose. You said men that consistently go to the club, they do these type of things by grabbing women on the ass. And the problem is that you scared of other men so badly because you know people that go to the, when you started breaking it down,
Boy,
and
you
we started
smoking
to find
crack
out.
out here.
When you
I'm
start
scared of what other men. You don't even make sense. That's what, and this is where we get this for, at least for me, right? Where
Why
you
you
make it
stopping me
a
while I'm talking? You can finish.
personal thing.
You can answer. You can answer after I finish saying.
Go ahead.
Is that a lot of men, they do not want to stand up and just speak up because they are afraid of other men is going to call them something. I don't know what you're afraid of or why you're afraid to just tell the truth. You don't even realize that you speaking up and telling the truth about men that's consistently going to the clubs are predators is protecting your own child in the future. A lot of men are just so dumb that they don't even realize that protection is speaking up about something. Not just telling your personal daughter to not do something that she's going to do what most people do anyway, because we live in a society. So again, if you are going to say that majority of the men that go to a club are predators, then you are saying majority of men in America are predators. And if you don't understand, you are the one that's saying these words, then I don't know what to tell you. You're a dangerous man.
Yeah, so I came back in and literally said verbatim, I'm the type of guy who would teach my daughter to not be at clubs. You brought up why. I said nothing about a predator. I said, because you ain't going to find good niggas in no fucking club. Like, I'm just being real about that. And then I also brought up club isn't the only aspect of social life. So when you that's what I'm saying, you insert this predator thing and then, oh, you scared of the man, stop. You know what I'm saying? Like that don't make no sense. Because I'm being, you talking about being honest. No, listen, I'm being honest. I'm not agreeing with what y'all saying. And even if that
did
does
your
cause
parents
that
teach
disturbance.
you? Did your parents teach you to go to the club?
No.
And did you go to the club?
Not really. Nope.
No, what you mean not really? Did you go to any club?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Lord. So our parents don't really teach us to go to the club and not go to the club, right? When we get grown, we start doing what it is we want to do. And my parents did not teach me to go to no goddamn club.
Oh no, my parents didn't teach me either, right? But
okay,
I
so
know
cool.
my mama
So
and
what
Tony,
I'm saying,
but I know my mama and Tony's on the weekend.
So what I'm
or
saying
some
is,
weekends. I ain't
so
saying
what
every
I'm
weekend.
saying is, when you say you're gonna teach your kids not to go to the club, it's ridiculous, right? You know that because they're gonna do what they want to do when they get older, right?
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, that don't mean I can't give you things to try to probably prevent that. I do understand you gonna do whatever you like. That
Oh
doesn't
my.
mean I shouldn't give you the information to help you to maybe prevent that.
And what they
That's
gonna
all I'm
prevent
saying.
if they don't go to the club? What is that? So we told you. I know it was LA and myself said when we were younger. Like I remember the first time a little boy grabbed me. He grabbed me by my vagina. Like he was maybe like 8 years old. Okay, I was that age too. He grabbed me so hard because I guess that's what boys did back then. We was playing kickball. So I'm just not understanding some of you, right? At the ages that you are, you still don't understand. Some of you have daughters and you still don't understand. And the only thing you want to do is control your daughter instead of saying, hey, men in the world, this is inappropriate. Keep your hands to yourself. Just because she dressed a certain way doesn't give you permission to do things. What's wrong with that?
I think what you kind of skipping, at least for me here, I'm not saying that. I'm saying men, you do better. And women, I'm definitely gonna ask you to do better too. I mean, fuck it. It's nothing wrong with that. At least are we gonna say fuck
What
it?
did
You
she do wrong?
don't gotta
say my
reiterate it.
daughter,
Hold on,
right?
you don't have to reiterate a point that you just said. What is it that she got to do that's better to not get?
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure my daughter not have yourself in the situations. Like
what situation of
proper
walking in the street?
prevention.
Okay, so what is it that she has to do so we can have a very clear understanding?
I mean, as parents, it's the situations we would put our kids in, right? So, I mean, if you want to have them in certain like school clubs or maybe drama, things of that nature, like they say, keep your kids occupied and out the street. Like,
Okay,
and I'm not being funny. Most people in the club that was in the club when y'all was going to the club, all of us, most of them ain't college kids. They not college graduates. I'm not saying they don't.
Do you think most women's experiences are at the club, or do you think they're with in a different setting, such as a family friend, a family member, work, something like that? Where do you think most of these assaults and that type of stuff happen?
At school?
School is another example. Where do you think most of these assaults happen? At the club or at one of these other places?
Other places for sure.
Okay, all right.
You cannot be this dumb.
He is.
Moron.
He is.
Moron.
This is crazy. Like, how do you go against your own points that quickly?
What did I go against?
You're saying you're going to keep your daughter out of these types of places. And then I bring up the fact that most of the assaults happen in not the club. So you talked about extracurricular activities, clubs, school, all this other stuff, which is where assaults also happen. So there's no way to keep your daughter out of these settings unless you're literally going to lock her in a room and never let her leave.
More at drama club or at the club?
The argument that they're trying to make is
no. Does it happen more at drama club or the club?
The males, because
drama club.
They're the ones
so I'm going against it. Oh, now people getting raped in club. Come on, y'all. That's what I'm saying. But I'm the moron.
Yes.
I get it.
Yeah.
Military I know, because I won't say some stupid shit.
Down the street.
But now we saying you just get raped in school on the Reggie.
KT,
that's what happened.
Hold on. See, this is very important. This is
it's not places.
Like
I said, 90%. We talking facts. 90% of sex trafficking.
Stop crying. Why I gotta yell at you to tell you to
background,
stop talking? I shouldn't have to yell at you to tell you to stop talking. You're a man. Literally, we got people in the chat that said they got assaulted in 10th grade in school in the auditorium.
Yes.
So why the fuck do you keep focusing on the
club? So why the fuck are you acting like that's most people?
Because you
that is
that's not nobody said that it's not nothing. I literally said from the beginning, y'all no such thing as absolute.
I'm trying to explain to you.
Please stop acting like an example makes that the prime.
It is the normal. The club is the outlier.
Right, that's the outlier.
It is the outlier. If you talk to just call family members or whatever, talk to them.
I'm dead serious, KT. You're sitting here on a panel of where women are telling you what they are experiencing, and you're pretty much negating what we're experiencing. We're telling you it does not happen at the club. It does not happen where you sit up and think it happens. It happens everywhere. It doesn't matter where we are. We get assaulted anywhere we go. It doesn't matter. It's not just a club setting. And you're sitting here trying to tell us our experiences. This is what's pissing us off.
Yeah, that's how y'all not making sense. Because where did I
How
say
the
that this is
hell you
y'all
gonna tell us
experience?
that we not making sense when this is our
Yeah,
fucking
because
experience?
can you tell me, ma'am? Just tell me where the fuck did I say this is not y'all experience?
Dude, because you keep saying, well, it happens in the club and only in the
No, I'm
club setting.
saying that's one of the places it